Oh, but
Okay.
this says attempt a medicine check with the same DC as treat wounds and restore the corresponding amount of HP. This does not remove the wounded condition.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
for
so the
battle-
idea is that if you got someone up, they wouldn't lose the wound condition. But when you do treat wounds normally, you can still do it. It's just
Yeah.
it's basically saying you have to use medicine out of combat to remove wounds.
So the cleric character cannot remove the wounded condition.
I mean, you can, just not like
Well,
in combat, I guess, is the time you can't do it.
well,
No,
I mean,
he's saying that the cleric he's talking about something totally different way.
Yeah.
He's talking about the cleric class because his healing spells don't remove the wounded condition.
Oh, I see.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to have non-magical healing to
I see. Okay, but so normally you can only treat wounds out of combat with medicine and treat wounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
see.
basically the purpose of the wounded condition is to prevent the kind of goofy situations in the 5th ed where someone dies, gets healed by 1 HP, gets dropped by an attack, get healed again, and keeps getting back up. Because
Yeah.
wounded makes it progressively harder for them to get back up.
I think maybe I'll do. I might end up switching this around if I feel like it's not. So I think maybe I'll become an expert in Arcana for now.
All right.
Let me see where that goes.
We're only
I can
10 minutes late so far, so let's.
I can always bring back Reet next time. I wanted a kobold writing amount because that was what my reroll was going to be in the D&D stuff.
You might still die there, so
Yeah.
Another kobold friend.
no guarantees you will be alive.
I'm on the fence between battle medicine and risky surgery. I may just decide in the middle of the session. So
Yeah.
hopefully, is that okay? Yams, you have a problem with that?
Hopefully someone will get wounded and you'll decide on risky surgery.
Because the thing is, I can't do risky surgery mid-combat. I can't do it in combat, I don't think.
Yeah.
No.
I don't particularly care.
Also, I don't know if they work together. Like if you took battle medicine and risky surgery.
Well, I can't because I only have one.
No, I know. I'm saying in the future, I don't know if they work together because it doesn't. Because it says when you treat wounds, whereas battle medicine isn't using treat
No,
wounds.
it's something.
It's a medicine check with the same.
Yeah, no, it's not.
All right. So are we done with character creation now?
We were always done with character creation.
All right.
I'm ready to go. I just was waiting.
My stream's been on. I'm just waiting for you guys to be done. So.
Hey, listen, man. I listen to people talk all sorts of shit before I'm ready to go. Okay, don't give me that.
But wait, what's the max number of hero points?
I don't know that there is one.
Because we get one at the beginning of each session. No,
Yeah.
there's a cap. I remember there's a cap.
I don't remember how many we have.
We'll say the cap is 5.
Okay.
I don't know.
Session.
Does it really matter?
I mean, it matters because it depends how many I actually get to have access to.
Oh God, that's so bad.
Hero points.
Yes, gold.
So if you didn't use any, you have 3.
The gold I have written down. I have, but I guess it's also because of my spending and stuff. But I have 7 gold, 5 silver. So I don't know how much other people have.
I have 14 gold because I hawked some extra gold when nobody was looking. Remember?
Yes, you stole it off the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's so bad about stealing it
What a
off?
piece of shit.
I mean,
All right.
I'm the kid of a mob boss. I have no morals.
All right, let's go before Yams has a fucking aneurysm.
Jesus Christ.
Do.
I
All
also
right.
assume that between sessions I copied all the spells that.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're running under the presumption that you guys, since the last session, have done other things. Because, like, mechanically speaking, we did not reach level 2. So, you've done other things since then.
Yeah.
So, that is what I have written this as. So, with that said, we shall begin the session. And I didn't test to see if I can do this, but I'm gonna try anyway.
You do what?
Does that work? It works.
Hey, Ronaldo, you traitor.
You're not in this world.
I
The-
don't know.
This
With
is
with his psychic powers, he could be manifesting here. You don't know.
So if you're in if you're all in roll 20, I think we are. Okay. Good. So, our last adventure was much farther to the south, but since your time away, you've been doing more and more working your way northward, and along in that time, Tyr hasn't been with you, and you get a message from her asking you to come to Icemark, specifically to Seer's home, because she has a mission for you, a request under the Sapphire Banner for you to complete. So,
best.
you have taken a boat, because actually going through the water was the fastest way to get here. The overland travel would have been over countless mountain ranges along the continent to get here. But now that you've arrived in Seer's home, you make your way to what passes for the local tavern in this pretty bleak area of the world.
Is this the fucking tundra again?
What?
Is this the tundra again? Are we in the fucking Icewind Dale of PF2 right now?
Yes, you. No, you're not. I don't know. It is ice and snow here,
Oh my god.
but listen. Don't complain. This is where I wrote it, so you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Wave, you're
Fine.
gonna get some deja vu. from
Listen,
the
it's fine with
General.
me. I'm not the one playing in it. It's fine with me.
You are playing in it.
So,
No, I mean, never mind. Keep going.
as I was saying, you meet them, Tyr, in Seer's home, and they begin to tell you about the request that they've received. Tyr speaks of a village on the other side of the Storm Spear Mountains, northwest of Elfmeet, that has sent out more or less a distress call because they've seen strange sightings out on the ocean. The icy, sort of floating ice slash glacier sort of mix that makes up the waters around this remote area of the continent. And over time, these strange sightings have only become more frequent and gotten closer and closer to the village, which has become something worthy of taking care of. Because seeing strange things, normally, you sort of let it pass. But especially the village elder has become quite concerned. The village is called Purgot. And it is, like I pinged here, basically right there, in something of a cove, right over the mountains, and something resembling flatlands between these two mountain ranges here.
When you get the chance, just write the name in the thing.
Oh yeah, sure. Purgot. So, Tyr looks you all over, noting two new members. It says, "I know we haven't kept the closest contact, but I think you're one of the only groups that I could trust with something like this." And as far as these new members, if they're traveling with you folk, then they're good enough for me. But the sooner you head out, the better. If you head north to Elfmeet, the Ilverani elves there should be able to supply you with anything you need to get over the mountains.
Are you going to be coming with us?
I don't think I should.
Why not?
there are a few other things going on in Icemark that require me at this time. I'm more or less doing the Sapphire Banner a favor. Just by sending you that way.
Well, I'm not sure I get it, but we'll miss you.
Understandably.
Hey, you're saying that like we're never going to see him again.
See him again.
Hopefully, anyway.
A thing that the characters know, but the players necessarily don't necessarily. So a kobold with silvery skin, kind of pale horns, and large large dinner plate eyes made larger by thick-rimmed Coke bottle glasses. Kind of puts her staff across her lap in the high chair and looks across at Tyr and just says, well, we will certainly endeavor not to let you or the banner down. And then her tongue flicks up to sort of clean her eyeball and then back into her mouth.
I will never get used to you doing that.
Wait, hold on, Asmo. What class is your character again? Or what race?
Kobold.
Summoner, I think, right?
That is correct.
I'm just thinking how you just acted that out sounded very similar to your Starfinder character for whatever reason.
Well, they both did have a lot of charisma, but
yeah,
but
a little different.
Vekri is a very learned for a kobold.
And
or at least
okay,
compared to most kobolds.
Okay, and I'm just trying to get everyone straight here. Nezu is the same.
Well, Nezu is my familiar.
Yeah.
It's Jin who's.
Sorry, not Nezu. Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jin and Sokol is the same, and then I guess your 50 years is Gaz.
Yeah, I'm Zagaz.
Okay.
You know, running with my theme of 4-letter unpronounceable names.
Speaking of unpronounceable names. So we've got Skaz to add to the list here. Let me write these down.
There's so many characters on the sidebar. I'm just trying to keep I'm trying to keep it straight. That's all.
Okay.
So
Vector.
I'll clean some of this shit up
So Zagaz's mount, Crankor, named Crankor, the terror bird, is obviously outside where we're meeting. Because he wouldn't fit.
Is it like the PF2 axe beak?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Something about this whole thing feels pretty familiar.
All right. So, presumably, if you needed to gather any supplies, and specific climbing supplies and things like that, I'm not particularly interested in the overland travel aspect of this story. So,
like, do we need the typical gear, again to risk similarities, but do we need all that similar gear, like the cold weather gear, the what they're called, the cleat things? I forget what we called them. Crampons, those things,
Crampons.
like snowshoes.
Yeah, things like that. I mean, you're going to be traveling over the mountains, so yes. I mean, you're gonna need things to be able to handle rough terrain, things like that. What may be icy, rocky. Like I said, I don't particularly care. Presumably, you are able to acquire all of these, or we'll just say the Sapphire Banner provided for you in this regard.
Okay.
They were notified ahead of time of what you would need, and they have already sent funds, and that's been taken care of.
Getting back into the snow does remind me of home, so.
That's good.
Not a huge fan of it myself, but
I don't know if I'm a huge fan either, but but it is. I am a bit used to it. Gotta watch out for snowdrifts though.
I am definitely an unfan.
Tyr, is there any one specifically we should be asking for, or like anyone in particular that we're like contacts wise?
That's a good question. Didn't specifically receive any names, but my feeling is if you're able to find this village, considering how remote they say they are, and I'm sure you can, given proper directions. I have a very detailed map, being that I have of Icemark.
You're talking about the other place, not Elfmeet.
Right. Yes. Well,
Right. Okay.
Elfmeet's sort of like a way station for you.
Well, that's the thing. Is there anyone we could speak to at Elfmeet that would have any more idea of any of this, or?
Yeah,
'Cause presumably
I'm
they're
sure the Ilverani make their way across the mountains quite regularly.
But you don't know anyone specifically.
No, not there.
Well, don't have a whole lot to go on then.
Well, I have a map. That's what I was saying.
And going and if I recall, going on little is kind of your specialty, so.
There.
I wouldn't be overly concerned with getting there.
Yeah, travel's the easy part. It's finding out what's in this water.
Again, yes, that will be the crux of the issue, I think. So, if you wish to rest here, I know it's been quite a long ride up from the southern part of the continent, but there's not much comfort to be found, unfortunately.
I mean, I'd personally
There'll
prefer
be
to
enough.
try to make our way over. We could rest up at Elfmeet, no?
I'm happy to keep going.
By all means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, the supplies have been provided for, so everything's waiting for you when you're ready.
No time like the present.
So,
Good luck with your endeavors, mixed here. I'm happy to finally meet you. I've heard a bit about you and your impressive lightning bolts.
well, that's nice to hear that they talk about me still. But, yes. I'll see you off. And presumably, you all head out. And, travel to Elfmeet isn't particularly far, and the only real major hurdle is the river there. But, you're able to cross it because part of it's quite solidly frozen over. So, you don't have any issue reaching Elfmeet, and there you're greeted by the rather pale-skinned, white-haired Ilverani with what resemble tribal markings and elements of beast skins as clothing and antlers as adornments, things like this, that mark them as decidedly different from the sort of elves that you're used to further south. And one of them flags you down and says, "Travelers from Sear's home, I presume."
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Lovely to meet you.
Indeed.
I'm Beckery. This is a group of us traveling with the Sapphire Banner. We're hoping to get across to Purgot, and we'd be really happy to hear about anything you've seen that's odd out in the ocean, if there is anything.
Oddities in the ocean. Indeed. There are many.
Dear GM,
Mm,
I would like to use one of my abilities, please.
sure.
When I enter a new location,
Mm-hmm.
it says such as a room or corridor, but I think a town kind of
Yeah, that
also
counts.
constitutes a new location.
Sure,
I
sure.
get to use that. That's odd. So I immediately notice one thing out of the ordinary.
You notice
Nice.
one thing out of the ordinary.
I can link the ability if you like.
Do-do-do-do. There is something. Trying to remember exactly what it looks like. Hmm. Have I not seen this?
It's a good ability. Just
I
cool.
it is
Yeah.
quite. Unfortunately, I feel like it puts a lot of onus on the GM.
There's always something suspicious around. It's just how suspicious do we want to talk about?
Right.
Right.
So. Oh, that must have been in the previous place.
There's too many pie crumbs on the face of the NPC.
Yeah, I think that must have been in Sears Home, the thing that I'm remembering. Give me 1 second, let me double check that.
You broke the GM already.
Damn
Good
it.
job.
I cast augury.
Weird.
Basically the same
I can't
thing, right?
find the thing that I was reading about the other day. Oh, there it is. Huh. Well, I'm going to say that whatever I remembered was the truth. I can't really find a description, but the thing that you notice is that there's an unusually large structure for even Sears Home in Elfmead here, and it's sort of this arch top formation of, but it's broken in the middle at the top. But there's like two spires that almost meet in the center, but curve toward each other, sitting atop a dais of some sort.
I'm gonna create that as my I'm gonna go. I'm pretty much gonna kind of ignore this. I'm gonna go immediately to go investigate that, and I want to create that as my pursue a lead.
Okay, sure.
I have two of them, but I'll do this as my first one.
So
And
pursue a lead.
I guess while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna go like because that immediately. I'll just say that immediately caught my gaze, and I'm as always a little less interested in people and their interests, and more interested in other such things. And so I'll kind of like, like almost like just sort of half listening and wander off as the group is talking and being introduced and all that, just to go investigate this thing.
I'm sorry. He's a little. He could be a little eccentric. So happy to hear more about anything you can tell us as I distract while her other wanders off.
Are you attempting to distract purposefully?
Oh no, I'm just muttering.
Okay.
I'm just she's very polite. I have a lot of I have all of the the diplomacy skills. So
I'm decidedly not very polite.
Okay, so you're not trying to like sneak off. You're just immediately.
I'm just doing it. I'm just
Okay.
like single-minded focus.
So all of you see the Ilverani that greeted you look over to someone else and make a motion, and that person starts walking toward Geraldo while they stay and occupy you. And they ask, "Indeed, you make your way to Pirgot, that is over the mountains. But you were asking about something in the oceans. And like I said, there are many odd things. But I can't say I've seen anything newly odd.
we hear about something getting closer and closer to Pierregot and approaching, and it doesn't. We can't assume that you would have seen that from here, being on the other side of the storm spear and in your own little cove here. But if you had, we'd love to hear whatever you can tell us.
Unfortunately, not. But in fact, we haven't received much word from them in some time, which isn't altogether noteworthy, but it is what it is. And you, Geraldo, have someone else approaching you as you head toward this object. And they make to cut you off, sort of stop you in your tracks, and they say, "Excuse you. I'm not sure you know where you're going."
I'm sorry, I just wanted to have a look at this. What exactly is the structure? And I'm still sort of trying to make my way over to it.
Well, that is an elf gate.
Would I know what that is?
I was gonna say, have we ever heard of what an elf gate is?
I'm not 100% sure. Let me
What
double.
knowledge would this be under?
Elf gate.
Yeah. I mean, I can make a roll if you like, but that's up to you.
Hold on.
I would also like to make a roll if I can.
Elf lore. You got elf lore?
I do not have elf lore.
Yeah, it would definitely be elfin lore. So, right, this is the one.
What do I have? Do I have any knowledge of academia? I assume doesn't cover this.
I have knowledge of all
Otherwise-
sorts of things. It's probably Arcana, if you had to ask me, but
Yeah, I mean, Arcana. I think Arcana is the closest thing. Arcana, or potentially, I would say, maybe even Occult, if you're trained in it. But if you're not, then just Arcana.
I mean, I'm expert in Arcana, so I'd rather roll that.
Yeah, go for that then. You're
Where'd you
more
get
than
expert
welcome.
from? Damn.
11. That's.
I have a +10 and I rolled a 1.
Oh my goodness.
So what I'll say, even with a 1, even with an 11, what I'll say is that you're sort of aware that, like, an elf gate is a method of transportation, as you might sort of assume by its name, but you're not exactly sure the history or anything resembling these elf gates whatsoever.
Sure.
With a 17, I think you would probably remember slightly more specific details, specifically pertaining to the idea that these are generally like a connected network of gateways throughout the world, and that as you might expect, they're all in Elven territories, and this must be the one that's in the Elverani territory. And but you're not really there, so you're not really able to help him in this regard, unfortunately. So Geraldo, that's what you get. You get that it's a method of transportation.
Sure.
And so again, the elf that's there looks at you and says, "I'm not sure you want to go there. However much you seem intent on doing so."
I'd very much like to go there. I've never really seen one of these in person before. Is that going to be a problem?
For you, potentially.
Why?
Well, that's the ice gate. It leads. It's connected to the Lich Gate.
I mean, I don't plan on.
Name at all.
I mean, does your gate, does it work? It looks kind of a little busted. I didn't really plan on using it, but
it does work.
The ice gate's connected to the lich gate. The lich gate's connected to
Damn it.
Firegate. I was like, if I promised not to use it, could I just go and take a look?
With all due respect, I think you'd understand that we ask you not.
All right, fair enough. And I'll back off.
Okay.
Everything good?
Oh.
Everything good, Geraldo?
Yeah, they just didn't want to let me look at their gate.
Okay.
What
Well,
gate?
we can certainly be
How
okay
would
with
the
that.
gate be interesting?
I mean, how is it not interesting?
It's a gate.
How much teleporting across the continent do you do?
Well, I did it once, but
If anyone else has any interest in figuring out what the skate wants to do, what the skate does, you're welcome to attempt a check. But otherwise,
Well, Zagaz doesn't really know Arcana very well, so
I'm fairly learned. I can take a look.
okay. 25 is more than enough to identify.
a little better.
So presumably you sort of heard snippets from Geraldo's conversation because it wasn't very quiet. So you heard Ice Gate and Lich Gate, and those sort of like unlock some doors in your mind of things you've heard of in the past. And you start to remember that the Lich Gate is connected to this sort of cursed land of Ustalov. And it's named the Lich Gate because a lich literally ruled over what was an elven territory before. And now the Lich Gate is guarded by an extremely terrifying banshee. And thus, opening a connection between the Ice Gate and the Lich Gate probably isn't a very good idea.
That sounds scary.
I may be going a little too far here, and diving down a whole thing that doesn't matter particularly today, but the one of the other things I have is astral plane lore.
Oh.
Reasons we'll get into.
Okay.
Do banshees are banshees astrally based at all, or like?
My understanding in PF2 is that they're just like spirits of elves that were wronged that don't want to leave.
Okay.
Like Sylvanas.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So this particular elf, if you care, this elf was one of the elves that tried to stop the Lich, from my understanding.
Right.
Very Sylvanas.
Yeah. It was a lich who ruled over a land, so it was a lich king per se.
Perhaps.
well,
Yeah, for like 500 years or something, sure.
Could have been a queen.
Beckery spouts off a little bit about this. It says, "Well, that's not probably not causing any of the ocean, though. Maybe something interesting to come back to someday."
It's highly doubtful that anything has come out of that gate, and if it had, we would know about it.
Oh, well, that's good. You're very vigilant then.
the Lich Gate sounds. I guess the Lich Gate is exactly as pleasant as it sounds.
Yeah.
As in, not at all, yes. But, as you said, you're heading for Pirgot. If you need directions, there are some Vakri around that I understand trade with them.
Some who?
Vakri? They're other nomadic people that live up here.
We'd love to speak with them, I think.
Yes,
Sure.
indeed.
Sure. And Go to that page. So, really, there's only they lead you over to what is quite obviously just a trader, a Valkyrie trader. They're human. Valkyrie are just human people that live in the same area of Icemark as the Ilverani. They trade with them, and you presume, by what the other person just said, that they trade with the people of Pirgot as well. And as traders just sitting there, they have a hold on. They have a what looks to be a piece of horn or something that they are scrawling on, etching something into right now. But otherwise, they're not paying much attention.
Greetings, sir. My name's Vekri. I'm a member of the Sapphire Banner, and we were hoping to talk to you a little bit about Pirgot, if you've been there any time recently.
Pirgot, you say?
Yes,
Well,
if you don't mind.
My name is Junge. You said you're Vekri. You have these companions of yours, yes? He gestures at all of the people, presumably behind you.
Yes, we've got Geraldo, and we've got Gin, and we've got Sokal, and we've got Skaz. And we're all Jays, and we're hoping to deal with some trouble out in Pirgot, and we're curious if you knew anything about that.
Trouble? I was there maybe 2 weeks ago. They didn't say anything to me about anything. It's business as usual. They traded me these weird fish scales that you Southerners seem to buy. And I give them some furs for the winter. That was it.
So definitely nothing obviously wrong 2 weeks ago?
Well, they aren't the most welcoming people.
Oh.
I mainly interface with one of them. This Rifir. That seems to be their main I don't know, trading person, but they don't say much about what goes on. Nothing seemed different, but I was only there for a day or two.
Just a short time.
Yes.
Huh. Well, if they're calling for the banner and they're that distant, then something must be really wrong, and recent too. Do you have a path you prefer through the storm spear?
Yes, there's a relatively easy route. If you give me your map, I can mark it down for you.
Thank you. I was going to say our companion gave us what they indicated was an extremely good map, so we better use it.
So, Junga takes your map and looks at it. Makes a few little corrections here and there. I don't know who gave you this, but Pirgot's a little bit farther northeast than they marked. Closer to the tip of that little cove that they sit in, rather than the shore. Yeah, like right there.
That's what I guess I were to do.
And the path is relatively good.
Like right
that is
there,
one that we used to use.
That dot?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a slightly easier one here. They'll mark a small detour to get around a particularly large mountain to make it easier There's a little path we carved through right there to get north, but other than that, this would have gotten you there, but yeah.
Not that this is my strong suit or anything, but
Mm.
do I trust that this person is on the up and up?
Do you trust that this person's on the up and up?
Yeah, like, how do I know they're not leading us astray? A mountain pass ambush or something of the sort.
Hmm.
You're thinking like insight kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then I go and check to
I
see
will-
what that's supposed to be in this situation.
Yeah. Is there an insight roll in this
There's
system?
something.
Usually perception, but let me just
Oh, right, it's perception insight,
It
right?
is perception. That's right.
Yeah.
Lying uses perception DC, so it would be just perception.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna make you roll a check because there's really no reason to distrust him. You get the sense that he's being pretty straightforward because there's not much reason to lie out here. There's not a lot to gain.
Would you accept any payment for your info?
I don't need it.
Probably
I
makes
have
more money than we do.
I have no particular use for gold. It's okay.
Ah, okay. Well then, I
It's
have
o- It's
little to
okay.
offer then.
But if there's something wrong, make sure that you take care of it. Those gnomes, they're weird, but I like them.
Oh, I guess I never asked it, but it's a gnomish village. It sounds like.
Yes, all of them are gnomes. There's not many of them, maybe 20.
Well, we'll certainly do our best.
Oh, it might be hard to find a place for you to sleep, so-called, when we get over there. Seeing as
I'm
you're the
used
only
to
one
it.
who's not gnome sized.
That's true, isn't it? I didn't think about that.
Oh,
It's like
God.
we've got a bunch of small people, and then so-called who's like huge.
I gotta be honest, I'm just having a chuckle because I remember Aslan's whole thing was being raised by gnomes, so I'm still a half orc going back to gnomes.
You've been
It's
you've been
halflings, wasn't it?
It was halflings, you're right.
Same deal.
Because gnomes are awful.
Wow.
you've been curling up on tiny beds for your whole life. Is the point?
Yeah.
So, with that information in tow, still,
We gotta.
it's pretty late, I'd say. It takes you most of a day to get from Sears home to Elfmeet, so
Yeah, we'll do as Geraldo suggested. Take a break here and then head off over the mountains or around them. Thanks to Yunga.
Gunga bunga.
now the
Over the mountains and far away.
not very far, but anyway, yeah, the Ilverani are more than happy to provide a little bit of lodging for you. It's not very big, but
Doesn't have to be for most of us.
yeah, you can imagine it's just sort of like a treated leather tent, more or less. So, you bed down for the night. You get up refreshed for the next morning. Breathe in some cold mountain air, and make your way with the map. So, as I said before, I'm not particularly interested with playing out the travel, mechanically speaking. So,
Sounds good. It'll be a little chilly, but we'll make it.
but I do have something to switch you to. Dun, 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 bing.
I gotta be honest, Liams, the music makes me really want to try to walk up the side of a mountain.
Shush. Shush.
Damn.
So you make your way.
Clip, 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 clip.
You make your way across this mountain range until you eventually come to a sort of flattening out, like you see here in the picture. And along the southern, more wooded range, you start to see figures that move against the white background of the mountains. And it's like the first sign of life you've seen in the entire day. It's pretty sparse out here.
How far along are we?
We'll just say that this is like, you think you're about in the right area by now. Like I said, I'm not super interested in playing out the travel, so you get to about the right space and you start to see figures moving against the white background of the mountains, and you presume that this is the village, but you don't really see any structures. And these people that are appearing, the figures, they appear and then they seem to just disappear. And they reappear somewhere else. They move a bit and they disappear again.
Are they gnomish sized figures?
It's hard to tell from far away, but you know, they are not particularly large.
Alright, so
So, how far away are these figures that we can see? That they're kind of moving in and out?
Well, it's a really clear day. And I'd say you could probably see them from most of the way across the tundra. As long as it's flat, you'd probably be able to see them. So,
Right, but like, how far away are they? Is my question.
right now, you're probably at least half a mile away.
Okay, so quite far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if that's not the village itself, then I'm sure they can tell us where it is. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
So you begin walking towards these figures.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Now has this been another day already, or did we did rest, right? Like before
Yeah,
we
you
left?
rested and you left in the
rested.
morning, and this has
Okay.
been.
So I'm gonna have one of my pursue a lead for the day just be, can I make it the town itself? Like I never quite understood how the pursue a lead works. Like it's supposed to be like a single creature, item, or small location. Yeah, I guess it's not. I guess it can't be the town.
I mean, it's a town. It's a small location.
Sort of. I don't think
it
that's.
says such as room or corridor. I don't think that's.
Yeah, I don't think that quite
Oh,
qualifies.
never mind. That's fine.
Oh yeah,
that's fine.
yeah, you're examining like a specific spot, basically.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. Forget it. Yep. Let's continue.
So, you could pursue a lead on Reef here, but it's hard to do that from this far away, and you don't have a physical description, so.
I mean, supposedly, I don't need to know much other than the subject's existence, so I could actually have Rafir as my lead.
Yeah, if you want to do that, we could do that.
I mean, if we're specifically looking for them, then that would not be a bad idea to have.
They are the person that you know interfaces the most with the outside, from what Yunga said.
Okay, so I mean, I will create that as my pursue lead, but I don't think there's anything I can do about that currently.
Okay.
Aside from have it as my subject.
Cool. Anyone else want to do anything, or are you guys just heading towards the figures you see?
I don't think we have any. I feel like we don't have anything to really suspect at the figures or anything, but nothing spooky. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think Zagaz would just assume that the town is probably underground.
Okay.
And yeah.
So you all get. So as you get closer, indeed, you start to see that these people don't just appear; they are indeed walking out of some sort of tunnel that leads underground, and up and down various different little entrances and exits to what you assume to be a cave system. And as you get closer, none of them seem to be paying too much attention to you approaching. But except for one particularly young looking figure that looks at you, makes a face, and then walks back down.
What kind of face?
Sort of like a bit of a apprehension, I would say.
I was gonna say, how are kobolds and orcs generally looked upon?
Well,
I don't actually know for the setting.
Yeah,
Well,
just
I can
kobold.
get orcs.
Yeah, our party is like what? 2 kobolds, a rat person, an orc, and I forget if Geraldo's is a halfling.
yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
A little bit of an odd, but
Yeah. So you get a little bit of apprehension out of that look, for sure. But before you're able to approach anyone specifically, you hear a voice call out behind you.
Came from behind.
I believe you're here on my request.
I'm guessing you don't get many visitors out here.
So he's behind us, so I guess we turn around and what do we see?
Well, you see, yeah, if you turn around and look, you see an older gnome that you swear wasn't there before. Standing there. I did write out a description, didn't I? See. His skin is somewhat reminiscent of the color of the stone that you can see sort of peeking out of the mountain range behind you. A rough tunic and breeches that are sort of the shade of this very teal, soft-colored sea that's off in the distance. He's holding a staff. Probably the oldest gnome you've ever seen. And he goes on and he says, I am Kosuk, and you all must be sellswords working under the Sapphire Banner. It is, unless I misread your looks, a befuddlement for those of the truly, hopelessly lost, in which case, you may go on. And he sorts of gestures out toward the ocean and a big glacier.
No, you've judged us rightly, Kosuk. We're here from the banner. I'm Vekri. These are my companions. Geraldo, Zagaz, Gin, and and Sokal. We're here to learn more about your troubles.
Indeed. Well, before we talk about that, how about I introduce you to the rest of the village?
We would be much obliged.
yeah, they don't seem to like us very much, so maybe you can change that a little bit.
Oh, there are a few precocious ones, but we don't get many outsiders around here. I'm sure you understand.
No, I imagine you wouldn't.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I can't say that I'm really surprised.
Tell me,
It's not like we would have been. It's not like we would normally be vacationing out here if it weren't for our business.
Tell me, is you seem particularly adept at the quiet approach. How did you sneak up on us so well?
I've got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Fair enough.
It's not so hard to hide in the snow.
Alright, so what's...
Well, if you want to come down.
I'm just gonna say, I think I'm willing just to cut the chase. Go down where? Oh, right, the hole.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, everything is underground.
Follow your
So-called
lead.
fit down the hole.
Am I gonna be okay? That's not the right word.
Does he
Am I
fit?
gonna fit?
Yeah, I was gonna say. That's the big issue here.
Well, might have to duck in a couple places, but it'll be alright. We didn't carve everything out just for us to barely fit.
Alright, well.
You'll be psyched for the cathedral ceilings.
So, Cossack leads you down one of the larger entrances. You notice down into the village, and at this point, essentially starts introducing you to sort of the who's who of the town. Specifically, there are 3 people that Cossack wants you to meet. That have some import in the village. So the first one is Rifir, the one that Jungo mentioned earlier. Cossack says, now Rifir is more or less the face of the village. You know, those Varki. I don't know if you met Jungo on your way here, but
We ran into him.
yes, well, those two, they get on quite well. And we trade for what we need. They take baubles and trinkets and such. Some furs here and there. From things we catch up here that they don't have down there. But, if you're here, and he sort of like motions around the corner, and you see a much lighter colored gnome that's almost sand in color, and but they're wearing a black like outfit, tunic and pants, but pretty thin, you know, despite the cold. Nothing too thick down here in the caves, and you notice, you know, walking through here, it's decidedly warmer in the caves than you would expect, given how cold it is outside. But Rifir turns to greet you, and Rifir extends a hand and says, "Why, hello! Welcome to Pirgot. Are you traders as well?"
No. Looking over towards Cossack, we're here under the auspices of the Sapphire Banner.
Sapphire Banner. Can't say I've heard of that one, but I suppose if old Cossack here has brought you in, then you must be at least alright. So, nonetheless, if you want to wheel and deal, you have anything worth? Perhaps we could make a trade. Though, I guess if you're on business, then maybe you just want to keep what you have.
For the moment, at least.
Well, if you do find anything, see anything you want, even if it's not mine, I'm sure I could make a deal. But other than that, yeah. I'm sure you got better things to attend to.
We're just meeting folks as Cossack suggests. So great to meet you.
Well, I am
Trying to get the lay of the area, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, at least part of it is like, part of this whole thing is Cossack like trying to help you guys map out where you're going as well to get you familiarized with this village of theirs. So they're like pointing out directions and such like that while you're going along. And Reef here will go on and say, "Well, I'm honored to be the first one, but hopefully you won't take the rest of my compatriots too harshly."
We wouldn't dream of it. Kindness we've been shown to this point.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. Yes, Cossack's a good man. I bet you. He smiles this wry smile. And Cossack sort of just waves him off. You might work your wiles on these traders, but I'm far too old for that, Rifia. And so, Cossack leads you out, and the next person they want you to meet is a collector of sorts, Nisa Mosin. Let me type that out too.
Please do.
Yeah, I was like, these names are starting to get.
There you go. Oh, and Cossack is like that.
These are all gnomes, right?
All of them are gnomes, yeah. Well, Yunga's not a gnome. Yunga's a human. Yunga was the Valkyrie human, but the rest of these are all gnomes from this village. So, Nisa Mosin is a female gnome wearing a white, a sort of off-white tunic. Refair trader, Cossack, old gnome. Where is this gnome? Yes. Refair's like the trader.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep the name straight with who is who.
Sorry.
That's all.
Right. So Niso, like I said, Niso off-white tunic, sort of an almost glossy silverish tone to her relatively pale skin, somewhat like the elves, but
So what kind of clothes are all these gnomes wearing?
what I imagine is some sort of like A-frame sort of tunic, yeah, sleeveless, underground at least. They wear these like sleeveless shirts that are made out of fairly thick wool, but they're not like what you would imagine like a winter coat would look like. And similar, almost all of them have like matching sets of trousers that are dyed various colors, you know.
Oh, matching their like.
Matching the shirt.
Yeah. I thought you meant matching each other. I'm like, that's a little.
No. Yeah, it's just like they all clearly have solid color outfits, more or less, and
basically like very plain clothes.
yeah, pretty plain. But I mean, they the variance of color from what you've seen from some of the ones passing and such, they're slightly more exotic dyes than you might expect. There's a couple of them that are wearing a more royal blue. One of them was wearing some sort of indigo and something like that. And that's not exactly what you think of when you picture Arctic wear, but, it is what it is. They do have these sort of, like, brighter colors in there, but here and there, as you move around, you definitely do see, like, heavier winter furs and such that you would expect to see to protect against the outside elements. But at least down here in the cave system, they're all wearing something not too dissimilar from a sweater and a pair of pants, or something you might think of someone as comfortable in their home in, even. So but as I was saying, yeah, Nisa Mosin, she's got the silvery skin. She's somewhat of a collector. You get the sense that Refier was referencing things that aren't his as to hers, because her space is sort of filled to the brim with all of these different colored items. Some are shiny, some make noise, some are small and large, metal, stone. I know there are like shark skin carvings, and then there's like these scrimshaw. There's like a row of scrimshaw collections that look pretty similar to the thing that Junga was working on when you first met him. And then there are, also just like random animal skulls here and there. There are furs that she collects. There's, bales of yarn that look like they've never been touched, things like that. And Niso offers her hand out and says, "Well, hello. Welcome."
Zagaz takes it and gives a hearty shake and says, "Oh, thank you all. You've been very kind to us."
Yes. There are at least a few of us who are used to outside people. But what brings you here to Pirgot?
Kind of look around a Cossack.
Is it not common knowledge?
And Cossack looks at Niso and says, "These are people here to investigate the things that the watchers have seen lately out on the ice." "Oh, what for?" "As you know, there's many things that come in the night. I don't know why we pay any attention to it at all. But nonetheless, I suppose if you're here, you will do the work regardless."
That is what we're here for.
"And if you have any interest in anything that I have, please let me know."
I cast Detect Magic.
Okay. I did expect this. Tech magic. So the
Yam's covering his bases.
Yam's covering the Yango. That's what Yams is doing.
Let's
So
be honest, if Monty were here, he'd do the same.
he would do
I
the
was
same
gonna
thing.
say
That's
Monty's
fair.
the detect magic guy.
Totally fair. So at base level, detect magic just tells you if there's something magical, right?
Yeah.
So there is definitely something magical in this room.
Is it not in PF? Does it not tell you what it is?
That's what Read Aura is for, I believe.
Yeah.
hold on, let's see.
Detect magic is just, is there magic?
Yeah, it's got to be higher level to.
Yeah.
Okay.
See.
In that case, fortunately, I have both of these.
Okay.
Let me just see how Read Aura works. Actually, I have
actually,
to choose an object.
It's detect magic.
I was gonna say, on that note, can I actually use my ability again? The that's odd ability. Now that we're in this smaller place.
That's odd. I mean, there's a lot of things that are odd. So, hold on. I mean,
is there anything more than because the idea is something like specific that should stand out more than the other things? I think is the idea.
Only the area.
It's non-obvious.
Why? It's like suspicious things, more or less.
Yeah, it's like I liked the example given in the description where it's like
a blood
if you're at like a scene and there's a blood stain, it doesn't do the blood stain because that's obvious, but then it does like, oh, there's something about the drawer.
Okay, okay,
desk,
that's fair. That's totally fair. Is there something that sticks out from the rest of it?
I mean, you can also tell me apparently that there is nothing reasonable here to notice.
I really don't think that there's... I don't think you'd be able to notice anything particularly out of the ordinary here. I mean, there's a lot of things that you probably haven't seen before, but given that, I think it's very hard to like come up with a pattern.
Okay.
To discover something that stands out as odd to you.
There is something magic in there.
There is something magical, sure.
Yeah.
At least one thing, right?
Yeah. At least one thing, and I can choose to exclude things that I know about, so like my own stuff or my allies' equipment. But
yeah, for sure,
so
for sure.
basically, something among her stuff is magical.
Yes.
But I have no idea what.
Okay. Yeah. Not unless you pursue further. Detect magic is just a cantrip, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know there's something magical in the room, but...
Gin is curious, but he also doesn't want to investigate in a way that makes himself obvious, so he's just going to leave it. He may come back.
Sure. Anyone else want to do anything?
No, I'm just patiently waiting for what I'm paid here to do.
Okay.
I'm probably talking the most and also comparing our looks because I also am very silvery and I'm wearing kind of a plain white, sort of,
yeah, I suppose you two match.
We kind of do. The touchstone is really like kind of the original white mage robe, basically, with kind of blue sash around it. That's kind of what she's wearing.
Okay, got it.
I feel like if someone told her that she was matching a kobold, she'd be a bit terrified.
These people don't have much of a, unless they have like a, I don't know. They're up in the north in the mountains. They could have a bloody war with kobolds. I don't know.
I'll see this. If Niso had any reaction to any of you being weird, she didn't show anything.
Okay.
Give you that for free. You don't get any sense that she cares particularly much. So
seems like she's more interested in her stuff than us.
That might be true. And I mean, okay, roll insight on that actually with that statement.
Perception.
Yeah, roll perception. I think perception works. Okay, yeah. So perception's pretty good here because I think the thing that you're going to notice is that, yeah, she's not particularly interested in you, but she's definitely looking at the things that you have and appraising them. So whatever you have on display, whether it be, the clothes you're wearing, if they're particularly odd, she's definitely taking note here and there. If you have anything, weapons on your belt or anything on your back, any odd jewelry, things like that, you would see her pretty easily with those rolls. Taking note of that. So, without anything else there, Cossack will take you to the last person. And this person, again, is another hilarious name, because I couldn't help myself.
Here we go.
Don't ever apologize, Ian.
Guilrig. Garlrig.
What? Okay, maybe.
Gaelrig. That's how I wanted to say it. Yeah, that's right.
That's quite
Gaelrig.
Yeah. Okay.
But you can just call her Gale.
Okay, so would I pick up on the fact that this is probably where Tira's from?
Under what assumption are you making that?
Under the assumption that her name is very, very similar to all the other names around here.
As in a, whatchamacallit?
Palindrome.
Palindrome?
Nice.
That is a similarity. And Tira's a gnome. And you do seem to remember that the sort of clothes she wore were not dissimilar to what you've seen here.
So presumably that's the reason why Tara didn't want to come back here. There's something. Me not being particularly subtle about things.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, I'll ask Rifir because Rifir is presumably the one that's like you were saying the one that's most often dealing with outsiders, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll walk to Rifir. Hey, just a question. One of our previous traveling companions, just wondering if you know her, goes by the name of Tirmarit? Tirmamrit? However the fuck you pronounce that.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, what were you? What specifically? Where's the wording that she used there? Sorry.
I just wanted to know if they know her.
Oh,
Just
okay.
ask you, just wondering if you know her.
Tirmamrit. I can't say. I can't say I've heard that name. No.
Like no reaction to the name at all?
No, not really.
Okay. I've noticed a bit of a pattern in the naming conventions around here, and you know, hers was very similar, and you know, she just looks like she could have been from around here. I guess I was wrong.
I mean, that's about the only thing that gave me pause was, it does sound like someone who's been here, but, I've never heard that name before. Do you know, what does she look like?
I'll give a description.
We show her their character token.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, if you give a reasonable description, sure. Weaver thinks for a second. I mean, I'd like to think I know everyone that's all the gnomes from Birgit, but I can't say that rings a bell. Can't think of anyone that has that color hair. I don't know. Well, sorry, can't help you there.
Okay.
So, yeah, Kozak is leading the rest of you to Gear's abode, or, space in this area. It's not really like formal doors or separation, to some degree. They all have their individual space, but it's not like
a huge deal.
Yeah, it's not extremely private. Yeah, so upon first impression, you get the sense that Gare is something of an artisan. You see, like, an anvil and like obvious smithing implements in one area, and then you see on another part of it some tinkering tools that sit atop these designs that have all kinds of numbers written everywhere, rough sketches and things like that. And you see some quickly hammered iron pieces here and there to make crude facsimiles of some of these designs, presumably just to see if they hold up at all. But you get the sense that this is someone that just works on a craft, I guess, would be the right way to say it. So, Gare looks you all over, and Upon inspection, you're able to recognize this is the person that was a little bit apprehensive before, that spotted you topside. And her arms are a little crossed, and she leans back against the workbench, and in a low voice, "Well, I suppose you're here for Kosuk. But,
We're certainly not here to see the sights.
Well,
That's not very nice. Gin.
Mm.
that's fair. That's fair. But, as you can see, this is my workshop. But, as for why I think you're here, I can't say I'm all too thrilled with finding out if there is anything out there.
Is there a
Oh.
reason to worry? Is there I don't know, past concerns that have been brought to light like this?
No. Nothing before. Which is part of the unsettling bit of it.
We can
Yes,
promise that we're here to help and to help relieve the situation to make sure you don't have to worry about anything.
And to learn some things.
And to
Well,
What are we learning?
Yeah, I can't say this.
Oh, we're always learning.
that's true. We're always learning.
well,
I learned there's a multitude of stuff that wants me dead.
I suppose.
Sorry, yeah, you don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sure that none of that stuff will have to worry any of you. Nudges so-called in the knee.
Now, why would you say that? God, I forget your name already.
Vekri.
Vectory. Why would you say that, Vectory?
Well, just because we want these folks to have to be able to live nice, peaceful, normal lives. That's what the banner is for.
Not wrong.
Well,
Well, I think
hopefully,
that's an oversimplification, but something we can debate some other time.
Always happy to.
Oh, for sure.
hopefully you find nothing.
Excuse me, sorry.
That's what I want. But I suppose if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. I am one of the people who saw them.
Saw what?
The figures. It's kind of strange. It's very dark here at night, as you might expect. Even out on the ice. But whatever these were, I don't know. Someone said they were just ghosts, but it's not a... I don't know. Never seen a ghost before, so maybe. But everything I've ever heard just didn't seem like something spectral. It was Alien. I don't know. Hopefully I saw nothing. Just a trick of the sky on the ice.
It's merely a trick of the light.
I should know that, shouldn't I?
Well, if you remember anything in particular that would help, then we'd be more than happy to hear it. Color, the figure, a height, but
Hit
thank
point.
you for letting us know. Weaknesses.
I can't be very much more specific. They were not very distinct.
Well, this will certainly help.
Hopefully. Hopefully it's nothing.
Hopefully it's nothing.
Hopefully it's nothing.
Hopefully it's something.
Something
'Cause
otherwise.
otherwise,
yeah,
why are we here?
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Okay, we're gonna go now.
Yeah,
Bye.
Garrett just turns around at that. Turns back around to our workbench and goes back to work. So, Classic leads you around a few other a few other areas, and gives you some directions here and there to like the main kitchen and eating area, and then there's a more common area. There's this cave goes up here. This tunnel leads down to the ocean floor, and this tunnel leads back up to the surface this way, such and such, blah blah blah.
Again, this may seem cheap, but that's literally what my ability is for. Does anything pop out as weird during this tour at all?
Does anything pop out as weird? I suppose what you would notice, you would definitely find it weird. Like I mentioned that it was warm before.
Yes.
It does
That
not make
changes.
sense to you at all. It should not be this warm, based on what you know.
Okay. Like, would I mean, out of character knowledge, things like, geothermal vents and whatnot, like, I don't know, is that not something my character would know? Like, there's the possibilities of warm things
I
being
guess
up
so.
north?
Sure. Yeah. That's... You would... You probably assume that that's what it is, yeah. That's what I was pretty much getting at, is like, maybe your character didn't know that, but I don't know. Aside from the sort of like geothermal vent that they've built this on, more or less. You might note that one of the tunnels that Cossack points down that's supposed to lead to the ocean floor sort of looks to you like it leads deeper into the plateau somehow. But you're not sure.
Okay.
But it's a little... It stands out to you. Definitely not going the way that you would immediately assume. Unless you want to do... But that's all you really know, unless you want to do something.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll make a note of it. I'm not gonna, like, fucking wander off right now. But...
Sure. Okay. So, after the tour, introducing you to a few other members of the village that, I can give you some more names if you really want them. But like I said before, it adds up to about 20 all together. But there's no... I mean, I suppose the only other person that is worthy of note, that Cossack doesn't really introduce you to, just sort of points out as they are off in a corner somewhere, is someone that Cossack calls a historian, Remimir. And that is another gnome that is exceedingly old. by your estimations. Perhaps as old as Cossack themselves. But everyone else looks decidedly younger than the two of them. And based on your knowledge of gnomes, you might think that Cossack and Remimir have been around for at least 4 or 5 centuries, and the rest of them maybe 1 or 2 at the oldest.
Literal children.
Cossack, we asked Riffier about a companion of ours. Do you know aught of a Kirmamirt?
Why do you ask?
Well, they dress a bit like all of you, and their name is somewhat similar. They're a gnome, and they were opted to send us in their stead, and it seemed like they wanted to send some folks they trusted, but also to maybe not go themselves.
Who's not being tactful?
I hope I'm not asking too much, but looks back at Gin, kind of like, oh no, did I blow it?
I will not speak ill of those who are not here.
Oh.
You could always just say nice things about her.
So Cal's just gonna roll his eyes.
I suppose, are you more interested in hearing that, or doing your job?
Well, I'm
Or
Column
no,
A,
those-
little
those-
column B.
I don't think the two are related at all.
no, but one is just what we know of our companion. But nevertheless, you're right. You called us here for work, and perhaps we can address other subjects later.
Excuse me, sorry. So, where are we off to?
Well, Cossack leads you into what you presume to be his living quarters. And he sits down and he says, I know it doesn't look very dire, but I am almost certain that this village is in mortal danger. None of them, except me and Rim, who's too busy looking at the sky to pay attention to what's in front of them, have seen anything resembling conflict. We have lived here for longer than I've been here, this community, but rarely are we presented with any sort of threat. And I don't know that any of them believe that it's possible. Except for Gare, who seems to want to deny it.
It is quite difficult to get out, to escape a mindset that you're trapped in. My clan knows something of this ourselves, so I can understand the reluctance. Can you relate why you believe this conflict is so close?
If it were just animals, they would have moved on. If it were nomads we've never seen before, why would they stay on the ice? Why would they keep coming back? It doesn't make any sense. Whatever it is, it's here for us. I don't know what that means, but if it were good,
It would be out here talking in the out in the open like normal people do.
one might
Still
suspect
being
so.
friendly.
So what is this he's describing right now?
What do you mean?
Like what's waiting out on the ice? I'm not like.
So that's like the creatures that they've seen
Whatever the thing they
approaching
saw,
Yeah.
at night.
He's kind of
Sort of crept closer from the ice. They've come out
Okay, but he
from
doesn't
the
actually
icing
know
ocean.
anything about them or what they look like or anything.
No, but he's talking about like other possibilities, right?
Okay.
Like if they
kinda
were
just-
just animals, right?
yeah. He's kind of like talking around it. He's like,
Yes.
which I mean, guess it's time to ask the question of like, so have you seen them? Anything
Yeah,
bigger
that's.
than Gare?
I didn't see more than Gare. And I've been out there many times. But like she said, it's something weird.
But then, how do you know that this is something that is mortally endangering your town here?
What sorts of things are good up here? That come
You
closer
are.
and closer and closer. It's like whatever these things are just watching us. Testing every night.
It
The
is worth
boundary.
It is worth knowing, and you all have precious little to lose. It would not take much for a village like this to disappear. So
Yeah. Why have
must-
these things not already made a move in that case?
I
That's
don't
a
know.
good question. How long has this been happening?
asking the important things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think it's been at least a month. 3 weeks since I sent message.
Well, that's not that long.
and so, well, maybe this is best done by walking out. Could you show us where you saw them and both where you first saw them and where they've reached now? And then I suppose after that it's just to us to wait and see.
That was something I was going to suggest, yes. But I wanted you first to see our community here. Both to know what you are working to save, and to understand why it's necessary for you to be here.
You certainly seem to have no warriors of note.
We only have 2 hunters, and
I don't know. Tyr was pretty capable. Is pretty capable.
Well, they're not here is the problem. But we can cover that another time. A much another time.
I don't know. Surely somebody here must have trained her for her to be that good.
as I said, We have 2 hunters. But they've been away on a hunt. Takes some time to find game around here.
That it would.
And
They
then bring it
seemed
back.
not at all concerned when they left. So
I'll turn to Gina and I'll say, I get the distinct feeling that they don't want to talk about Tyr.
No, no,
can see
no,
why not.
no,
Yeah, all right, okay. Let's all get her out of her system, please.
No.
Why did everything just go?
What?
It was RP'd awkward silence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the
There-
next the
was
next
all
option
planned.
really just seems to be that we got to go out there and see what's going on.
Yeah. Let's get out there.
Yeah.
It was just those.
Let's go.
It was just a perfect cacophony of noise into just.
Yeah.
You've been in a room where that's happened before, where suddenly it's quiet, and you're just like, "Why did it get quiet in here?"
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's just when it happens over a headset, my first thought is, "Fuck, I
Disconnected, yeah.
What
Yeah,
broke?
because yeah, exactly. It was too perfect.
Did I get kicked from the channel again? What happens?
Oh no! Wait, why?
So that said,
That said, yeah, sorry.
Cossack will lead you all down to the seafloor. Sort of like the exit of this cave is rather wide, enough to let a few people through, shoulder to shoulder. And there are
There's no coal trains, is there?
what?
That's something only I'm gonna get, but know that I'm cracking up.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
good
Alright.
to know.
He's doing cold people talk again.
Not even that.
So,
Go on.
that said, there's no real like defensive structure here. You know, these people clearly don't expect anything to attack them. There's no like formal guard post or anything like that. Just seems to be where people might look out over the ocean on a pretty clear night. And that's essentially what Cossack relates to you, is that the only reason they even notice them is because people do like to stargaze this far north occasionally. So,
Nice view.
indeed it is. Yes, well, we first saw them fairly far out. And if you imagine that, you know, the opening is somewhere like here, give or take, to this cave, then the space that he's pointing at is quite a bit farther out, maybe like all the way out here on the ice.
Can you mark the cave again?
Oh, yeah, here, let me,
Yes, please.
we'll say
Fools.
Please.
cave is there. Well, I want it to show up. There we go. Something like that. The cave is somewhere around there.
And so then, yeah, they started out here.
Yeah, they start out here. Figures.
And we are in relation to this where?
The pink.
Yeah.
Oh, we're at the pink, and the cave is.
The cave is the pink.
Oh, okay.
You're there. That's the mouth of the cave.
I see. This is where we're coming out from. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Because you entered like
Yes.
all the way up here.
Okay.
That's your entrance, like up here. Okay. And then they saw the figures like all the way out here.
Do you get this?
The way out where?
Yeah, I didn't.
There's
get
a red dot.
Oh, can we? Yeah, I see that. Okay. Yeah, purple.
Let me there. That's better. Like in that area.
Zoom out a little bit.
That's a good
Did
zone
you ever?
for you.
Do they seem to start on the ice, or have they come from the water?
It's as if they came from the water, but I don't know. You know,
All right.
they just get closer and closer. You know. Now they've gotten as close as this. You know. But it's like Gail said. It's almost like these. I don't know. Points of weird light. I don't know. It's strange. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Do they come every night?
Not every night, but
Frequently enough.
they haven't left yet.
Well,
I was just thinking if we wanted to, do a stakeout.
Well, let's start by holding up within the in the cave where it's warm, and then we'll watch tonight and wait until they show.
I would like to go out to where those things were and see if I can find anything there specifically.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's see
if there's
here.
any evidence by the light of day.
Take a look.
And this is what I will make my other abilities, so I should get a bonus to this if I need to do any checks.
Your other
my
lead thing.
Investigate.
Yeah, my investigative lead thing.
All right. So what would I want you to roll? Are you trained in nature?
I also have an ability survey wildlife. But am I trained in nature? I think I am. Yes, I'm trained in nature as well.
Okay. I will allow you to roll nature.
Okay. Then I should get a +1 on top of that. Wow, great rolls tonight.
Yikes.
Jesus, so it's a 12.
I mean, what I'll say is you certainly don't find animal tracks.
Okay.
There's nothing really. Nothing stands out among, the sort of craggy ice bits here as anything indicative of a creature, really.
Okay.
There's no, like, fur anywhere. You don't see anything like that.
All right. The dice have spoken.
Indeed. Well then, maybe now we wait.
Cossack, on the mention of a stakeout, he says, I mean, as stupid as it sounds, it's what I was going to suggest, so I don't know. Maybe you'll be better at it than us, or me, though I can say I've never tried to approach these things,
Well,
whatever they are.
That is probably what we'll do.
So, I will leave you to it, I suppose.
We'll have hopefully something back soon enough.
If you have any other questions for anybody, feel free to ask around. I'll let everyone know who you are. They've all seen you by now, so no one should give you much trouble.
So I just got back from the bathroom. So Wave made a nature check to look for tracks or something.
Yeah.
Or-
Well, he asked to look at the area where the things were, where the figures were, and I asked him to roll nature, and he didn't really find much.
Okay.
So
I think Zagaz would like to have a shot at it.
okay. Are you trained in nature?
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, sure. I'll let you roll.
Okay.
Got our other rangy lad.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, you'd know.
Lord.
As I said before, yeah, you definitely don't find anything indicative of anything any telltale signs of something that you would be aware of. Absolutely not. Nothing there. So.
Fuck, man.
Get him out now, y'all. We'll need these
Yep.
later.
Yep. Roll
Or
your
we'll
natural
just
ones
pick this
today.
whole fucking session.
Yeah.
Listen, I was choosing to.
Roll the whole session
Well.
and you'll die. So, yeah, unless there's anything else, if there's something else anyone wants to do in the time between now and nightfall, you're certainly welcome to do so.
Not between now and nightfall.
But other than that, we will skip forward in time and assume that you guys are out on watch.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think mostly Vekri's just like trying to think about the best way to approach learning more about Tyr, but now is focused on the job.
Okay.
So again, you determine how appropriate this sort of thing is, because again, all this shit's new to me, and I have about 1 million abilities that are related to these sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this ability, the ability Keen Eyes.
What is that?
So it allows me to make out small details about concealed or invisible creatures that others might miss. So like, obviously, I can't just kind of like, keep it toggled on or whatever. But like, I don't know if these things are going to be like hard to find or hard to see. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how. I guess it has to be I guess it would have to be a very deliberate sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
usually like
then-
an action you would take.
Yeah.
Okay. Then never mind.
You don't want to just play the whole game in detective vision? I figured,
Yeah.
but anyway.
What is that like Arkham Asylum?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you use the seek action, which
Okay.
is like looking for things that are near you with like 15 or 20 feet of you.
Okay.
That's for like encounters though.
Yeah.
Or like.
That's what Keen
different-
Eyes does. That's
Yeah.
what Keen Eyes does. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
it's an ability that it's a ability that keys specifically off of the seek action.
Oh, okay.
Came in handy against the imp or one of the other invisible.
Yeah, that
last
was
session.
that was quite useful.
So.
All right, then never mind. I will just be vigilant along with my my brethren.
All right.
Alright, how are we doing our watches then?
That is.
I mean, I
yeah,
think-
that's the next question.
I was gonna say, I mean, we're all awake right now.
Right, but I mean,
I guess-
assuming it's like nighttime, are we all just gonna stay up the whole night, or are we gonna do watches like?
Oh, we'll do watches once it gets late enough, but I don't think there's any reason for us to like not
I'll give
be
you.
remotely
Well,
paying
right, that's
attention
why
until.
I'll give you outright. I'll give you outright. Yes. I'll give you outright that. It's. They will tell you. Cossack will tell you that there's no specific time that they've been able to pin down when these things show up, and it's been as early as like the fall of dusk, and then all the way up to just before the break of dawn.
Well, we could maybe do pairs.
Yeah, I mean there are 6 of you.
I think there might be 5 of us.
Oh, right, 5. There are 5 of you. Correct.
But
So-
you know, I can always. I have a companion I can call on, so I can take a watch alone.
I mean, assuming that it works like this is actually something I didn't look up, but assuming that it works relatively like 5e, where it's an 8-hour period of rest, and you can have 2 hours of watch time during that, then there would have to be 4 shifts, I believe.
Yeah, they actually do get a little like more specific about it, but basically it's the same deal.
Yeah.
It's like not significantly different.
So if you want to keep it watch, if you all want to sleep full 8 hours and have a watch that whole time, then yeah, it would require 4 shifts.
I can take one of the solo shifts.
I'm okay to take a solo shift.
Okay.
Then
I'll go with my little rat friend.
All right. Yeah, we'll take the duo shift.
And then
I guess
Zagaz will be their own.
I'll take the dawn shift.
Okay, so Zagaz is the last.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Oh, we put the double up around the middle of the night because that's when it's gonna be like most.
Yeah.
Okay.
that sounds good.
So we'll put you guys like
third.
So it'll be Geraldo, then Vekri, then Gin and Sunaj's character, and then Zagaz. Sokol. Couldn't remember Sunaj's character's name.
Don't forget about fuck.
I'm one of the ones who didn't reroll.
Yeah, I know, right?
Where did I-
Yeah, but you named yourself
Jeez.
after a nickname for Southern California.
Oh damn. Damn, dude.
Okay. All right. So there are 4 shifts.
There are 5 shifts.
4 shifts.
There are 5 shifts.
So, Wave, you can roll perception for the first shift.
I will do that. Please. Motherfuck, man. My rolls
13.
tonight.
13.
Jesus Christ. I have a
Good,
plus
good, good.
6.
All right. So, well, a 13 is not that bad. It is above a 10.
But it's bad for me.
It's above a 10, so you're not totally oblivious here. I'd say with a 13, you're definitely not used to the sunset and the onset of darkness in the Arctic. So it does catch you a little off guard. So you're a little less keen on how things take shape as night unfolds. But you feel relatively confident that throughout the 2 hours that you were on watch, nothing even remotely close to what's been described to you is out on the ice.
Alrighty then. Who am I waking up?
So you're waking up Vekri.
Hey. And I could just kind of shove. It's your turn.
Oh, yep. Gets up, grabs her staff, stretches a bit, and then holds her staff behind her, sweeps it out in front slightly, and manifests her Eidolon.
Nice.
All right. What does your Eidolon look like?
It is sort of a massive compared to me, a medium-sized kind of misty dragon. So it's sort of this long, sweeping black shadow with sort of indistinct edges, or grayish shadow with bluish silver eyes as the main point of light within it. And it kind of creaks out of the sort of rune that appears on the ground as I summon it, and then like pulls itself up out around me with its full like winged, again like dragon but scaled down to medium.
Got it.
Persona.
All right. So
I mean, this is like the character concept became eventually, what if Yuna was a lizard? And that's what
I was kind of wondering if that's what you were going for. The dancing and whatnot, yes.
Yep.
I'm not super familiar with that, so
No
I see I
worries.
inspired you with my boss music from last week.
Exactly.
I won't lie, I was thinking Lee from Heroes of the Storm.
So
Dropping a water dragon on someone's head.
So my dragon manifest and will have a slightly different perception than I will, but not
Okay.
that different. It's actually worse,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah, but still,
they
you get 2
are
rolls. So.
so trained, yeah. So let me just quickly put the sliver's perception. Oh no, the sliver already has perception. Great. And we both have dark vision.
How, like 60 feet or 30 feet?
I think it's. I want to say 60. Give me 2 seconds to just double check though. It just says you can see in darkness and dim light just as well as you can see in bright lights, but I would assume it's
okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Sure.
So that's for the sliver, and that's for me.
Holy
so
shit!
Just fucking
Holy shit!
Woof. You guys are rolling well. This is gonna go
It's
so well.
been like weeks of shit rolls. Like
this is gonna go so well for you.
Nice.
I'm so excited.
Valkyrie was rolling great in the village, but as soon as I think she's like genuinely distracted by like what could have happened to Tyr.
Yeah, so I'll say that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you are preoccupied with this thought of Tyr and like trying to puzzle out what's going on here because you do get the sense that there's something there, but you don't know what it is and no one will tell you anything. So, and actually, it's actually Silver who notices first that sort of like nudges you in and gets you to pay attention as
I spelled it wrong. It is supposed to be sliver. But,
oh,
I need to put that in
sliver. Okay. Sliver of Golthricon.
The proximity to silver is not but
so
anyway,
Sliver sort of like gets your attention and nudges you in the direction, and you do notice that there are figures well closer than what Cossack had told you before, and they are essentially right within, I would say, 100 feet or less of this cave entrance. And one appears to be approaching.
Go. I look over to the sliver and I just say, go wake them up. Go wake them up now. Actually, yeah, I mean the camp's right here. My Eidolon can't get 100 feet from me, but it shouldn't matter because.
Yeah, I'd assume you guys aren't like sleeping very far from this.
And I kind of walk a little bit forward and just go, "Hail, denizens of the ice! What is it you come here for?"
So these figures you're seeing are like you've heard. They're fairly indistinct, you know, for as close as they are, and you can tell that they're close. You don't really know how because there's no depth perception to it. You know, it's really hard to like see them.
2D drawings.
No, but it's really hard to like tell. But you do know that they're close, and as you call out, these figures sort of turn from this indistinct form, or at least the one that's approaching turns from this indistinct form to something reasonably humanoid in shape. And as it approaches you, it becomes more and more detailed, and you can't tell if that's something happening because you're able to see it better, or if it's generally literally like rendering itself in front of you. But nonetheless, this figure that's approaching becomes more detailed. You're able to see, you know, a reasonably human face.
The draw distance was really bad back at this time. So that's
Just sort of like that, yeah. There's like almost you almost like it's almost like pop in to some degree, except for being like all at once. It's almost like there's like a barrier that once it crosses over, it's just like becomes more detailed, and it's almost like according to like the square law of gravity, almost, you know, as it gets closer and closer and closer and closer, it like becomes infinitely more detailed until it approaches you.
At a certain point, I definitely go, no closer until we can speak, and attempt to stand for make my intention clear that it not continue forward if it understands me.
Yeah, I think it would stop in that instance, yeah. And you see, it's sort of just, it takes a surprisingly delicate stance of repose while it waits there. But presumably in this time, yeah, Sliver's like woken everybody else up, so.
You get woken up by an indistinct shadow dragon. But if we've worked together, this is...
Yeah, you recognize the shadow dragon. But yeah, so you're all awake and presumably somewhat alerted to what's happening.
As people approach, I was like, well, it understands me. It stopped, but it hasn't talked back at all. And also, how many... So one of them has approached, but how many are we looking at?
I think there are 2 others. Besides the one that's approached. So 3 in total. The other 2 don't appear to be moving. But to give you a better idea of what you're looking at, it's sort of like... It's a very stark white, like the surface of the creature is this very stark white. But there are also these like pulses of almost like purplish light that trace along its skin every so often. And especially if... Well, no, I'm not going to say that.
Do any of you know what this entity could be?
I have no clue.
I
What
mean,
skill would even govern this?
It's a great question.
I'm assuming not one that I have.
I'll say if... how would you deal with this? I did not actually think about what I would make you...
I'm happy to also spin through a few different languages, though it did seem to eventually understand Common.
Yeah, Common is fine.
I will say that identifying undead typically falls under religion. I don't know if that's what this is, but if it,
I mean,
they are, then
if they're demons or daemons, you got your guy, your
boy.
boy.
They are not.
Similarly, astral, dragon, or underworld, all kinds of lore that I have.
Oh,
I would...
from a university.
I just have religion, so if it's undead.
If you have lore astral, that I will allow you to roll that.
I have astral plane lore specifically.
That'll work. Oh,
finally.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
There's a
Okay.
roll.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. So, Wow. Okay, so what I'll give you is this. You know about almost everything in the astral plane. You are not quite an expert yet, but you're definitely like, you know as much as anyone around here.
If it helps, the reason I know this is because the whole deal of having a sliver of Goldrakan is that my clan's dragon that they worshipped and are believed to have been descended from, they believe he is trapped in the astral plane.
Oh.
And so, like, it is about, like, part of the reason she is on this journey is to learn more about how to, like, free and also, in a slightly unrelated thing, redeem this dragon entity. But she has a shadow, a sliver of him, if you will, and that's why she's a summoner.
Okay. So, what I'll say is, you do know that there are beings. Like, obviously, you know that there are beings capable of interplanar travel.
Mm-hmm.
And you do get the sense from looking at this figure that there's definitely an element similar to something that exists on the astral plane, but it's almost as if it's definitely as if there's more to it than that. As if there are. It's not just from the astral plane. But you definitely recognize that there are elements of it, especially the sort of pulse to it that tips you off to this being a creature that is certainly not from this plane.
Where are you from? What brings you here? Tell us, maybe we can help. Maybe we can help each other.
So,
I am going to back the fuck up.
Okay.
And pull out my sling staff.
Mm. Okay.
I'm not gonna cock it per se, but I'm just gonna I'm waiting. I'm
Okay.
not gonna threaten it yet, but I'm just gonna pull it out because it's just a staff.
Is anyone else doing anything in particular?
I mean, at this point, I think I'm flanked again by the sliver, but other than that, just making the entreaty I made.
Sure.
Well, Zagaz, Zagaz has questions he wants to ask it, but he needs to wait for a response.
Okay.
To Vekri's question.
Jin, so call. Anything?
Just waiting. Seeing what's gonna happen.
Okay. So it looks at you, Vekri, and it's not moving very quickly. But you don't really hear it. And it certainly doesn't take another step forward. But it does respond in a somewhat dissonant collection of voices. And it says, "Hello. I am we. Me is us. And we, the plurality, are here as a diplomat, emissary, negotiator. Will you, they, entreat with us further?"
We would be glad to speak on behalf of the sapphire banner and to some extent the people here. What is it that the plurality seeks?
And also anyone else who wants to chime in, please.
No, I'm hanging way back.
I don't know. You covered it. I mean, Zagaz is also a diplomat, but
I am not. This is
But
not
we
my strength. I am hanging back.
made a pair of kobold faces. Which
yes,
I love.
apparently yes.
Okay. And it'll go on. It'll say, to define where we come from, we encompass many planes. But we are from many planes. And we wish to make an offer to all of you. There are more. We would speak to them all.
Hi.
I don't think you can speak to all of us. It would be, even if you are able to, it would be very frightening. For your presence is somewhat frightening even to the people just here, not knowing what you are and what you come offering. What is your offer?
We make no threat. Why are you tense?
Well,
People, yeah, go ahead.
okay. Well, it seems like you are many in one, or many beings in one, but we are all individuals. There's an eye here and an eye there, and there's a bunch of people back in the cave who are anxious, and we've never seen anything like you before.
This we
And
understand. You are all only you.
yes. And the thing is you have been seen for the past, sort of coming closer to the village here, and this is, and it's just, oh gosh, I don't know. Zags, if someone else wants to, if you want to take it up, Asmo, from there.
No, I mean, like, what are you trying to say? Like, what do you want to get across? Like, what?
Yeah, so Zagaz is just trying to get across that all these individual people are could react wildly differently, and it would be easier if the party here could relay the message over to them.
Okay. So okay.
Or
okay.
or arrange, or at least arrange a time to meet, or ask them if they want to arrange a time, or ask the gnomes if they want to arrange a time to meet with these beings.
You would be intermediary. But our offer is for you as well.
Well, that begs the question again. What is your offer?
As you understand, we are many, and you are few. Each one. You could become we.
I was waiting for that fucking shoe to drop.
Hell yes.
Well, it's a very intriguing offer, but I cannot accept, and I know there will be many who will not either. We could attempt to arrange so that you could speak to others and see if they would be interested to join you, but it will be individually and likely rarely. We do value ourselves here in this place.
This we know. Many were once one. But we have much to offer. We see much. We hear much. We know much. The more we are, the more we are. But time is what you ask for. Time you can be granted. Do relay our offer. We wanted all to hear.
Well, you certainly picked a place without many people.
We believe we know that some would want this.
Okay.
I can't
Technically
disagree.
not wrong. Yeah.
Some may. We will take your words to this village and see if there are any who wish.
Is
And
my computer dying or is Asmo's?
That's
Asmos.
Asmo.
Okay.
oh,
I also was concerned.
Talk
so
again, Asmo? Yeah, I think you're better now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I'll say, I understand. I'll say just you can choose. You can choose if this is like diplomacy or deception or performance, however you feel your character is trying to get this across.
Oh yeah, it's definitely diplomacy. Like she's honestly like, hey, maybe people want to be part of the collective. I don't
Okay.
fucking know. Though the other thing that she will eventually ask is just like, and if no one here wishes to join you, what then? But whew, okay.
That's a good one. Okay. Okay. Let me think. What exactly how is this going to be said?
You will be assimilated.
I was gonna say this is the actual turn I'm waiting for, is when it's like, well, you don't have a real choice.
Yeah, like I guess one shoe has dropped. Now waiting for the other shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many shoes do these fellows have?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
We haven't been
I
made
mean,
aware of how many legs these things have, right?
Are they going to
I
be
mean,
the?
humanoid.
Humanoid. Two bipedal.
All right. Okay.
Are we dealing with the Borg, or are we dealing with Reapers?
Species 847. Species 8472.
Insert.
I think this is the human instrumentality project happening.
Jesus Christ.
To be clear, we think it is the only way, that is, to become we, to stride the gap between each.
Suspiciously, well, we will see how that goes.
We will return tomorrow.
Mhm.
And with that, it turns around and it leaves.
And it leaves. Hallelujah. We'll never see it again.
Huh.
We did
That was
it.
interesting.
Okay. So when it
yikes.
leaves, does it leave to just kind of like, sort of? Does it do a weird thing and just kind of fade out, or do you?
Does it walk? Does it
you
just
actually
walk
see
away?
It's
it
it's
from
like a
there?
reverse of the former process, where as it gets farther away, it's clearly just becoming. It's almost like it's not that it completely disappears. It's just that it becomes less material.
We need a better graphics card because the draw distance here is awful.
It's
Mm.
like until it's hard. It's like, well, it stops being clear once it's indistinguishable from like a glint on the waves of moonlight. It's just like, did it disappear? Did it?
It didn't disappear. You still see it.
It's the time I did. It's the time it did.
For a while. I mean, eventually they all honestly get out of sight where you can't see them anymore, but it takes some amount of time. You'll just
And they're just walking out into the ocean.
more or less.
Okay.
At least that's the direction that they are heading in when they are no longer in your sight.
Well, maybe we rest the rest of the night and then take their offer to the village. Can't imagine that's gonna go well.
Can't imagine it's gonna go. I can't think of a witty way to follow that up. So
Maybe think of ways to try and deal with that.
Well, if it's alive, then Crankor can probably eat it.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I don't think it lives in the material world. I don't know if it's edible. But maybe it likes diamonds.
Anyone else want to do anything? Or are we all heading back to bed?
Well, I mean, are we still keeping watches for the rest of the night?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question too, I'm sure.
I think we would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we definitely are.
Alright. I know Wave's muted, so maybe that's intentional, maybe not. Probably. Okay. He's already had watch anyway, so see the rest of what would be your watch. Valkyrie goes by undisturbed. So next was supposed to be Jin and Sokol, right? You guys can roll perception checks.
I will not be doing that because
Or whatever-
Jin
whatever
will
you
be
wanna do.
distracted doing something else.
Okay.
Oh
Not
no.
What is Jin going to be doing?
He's going to be
Right?
sending Nezu on a little mission, and he's going to be piloting him using shared senses.
Okay.
He's going to send Nezu to go to go scope out what's her face? God, I forget her name already.
Gare?
No. Nisa Mosin's little horde.
Oh, okay, sure. All right. So, for Sunaj, I'll say you are supremely confident that you don't see any sign of these things. Or anything else
Or
notable.
anything else. At this point, I'm more thinking of the anything else.
Anything else. You don't see anything. As it turns out, it's pretty calm up here most of the time. For you, so you're going to see through its eyes, more or less, like warg into it, sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to go to Niso's area. See, that's easy enough. You have a pretty good lay of the town. What are you wishing to do there?
To see if I can get a better look at some of the stuff.
Okay.
If anything's
Okay.
valuable or useful to me.
Sure.
First of all, I'm gonna see if it seems like she's still there.
Yes. I mean, her space, like, isn't just her collectibles. It's also, like, where she lives, yeah.
Okay.
So she's
It's just
asleep.
like one big room.
More or less, yeah. It is, like, a relatively, like, well-made cave system, but it's not that fancy. Like,
Okay. Is she
No.
awake?
no, she's asleep, for sure.
Okay. Alright. And Sokol's gonna... not Sokol. Nezu's gonna start getting a look at all the... at some of the stuff.
Alright. So how long do you have with us?
I mean, share sense... Let me see if there's even a time limit on shared senses.
Yeah. I just want to have an idea of how long you're spending doing this, and
The other question is just, I assume you took the, like, familiar can get away from you thing, because I don't think it's 100 feet from us.
Oh, I was not aware familiars had a limit. I know your Eidolon does, but
My Eidolon does. Maybe yours doesn't. I don't know. I just assumed.
I don't believe familiars do. No, familiars can scout. So actually, it works for 1 minute out of every 10 minutes.
1 minute
so
out
actually,
of every
this
10.
is not really going to work the way I want it to.
So 10% of the time?
Yeah, this is not really going to work the way I want it to unless I change my familiar's abilities to include some other things. So I'm not going to do this yet, actually.
Okay.
I'd have to do this on a different night.
All right.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah.
Like that. So you don't do anything except keep Sokol company.
Yeah, and well, in that case, then I'm gonna see if I see anything.
Yeah.
I probably won't see. Actually, I literally can't roll as high as so-called hit.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No worries. I mean, yeah, you definitely don't notice anything. There's nothing to notice. I'll give you that. So last was going to be Zagaz.
Zagaz and Crankor.
Crankor. So, Jen and Sokol wake you up for the last time.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Zagaz goes out and sits a bit with his bird. And
24. A terror bird. Okay. Oh boy. All right.
Terror bird / Axebeak. They also call it Axebeak in Pathfinder, apparently.
I mean, but Terror Bird is a great thing to say, so.
Yeah. Especially the Terror Bird.
The Terror Bird.
Yes.
So I was saying
with Terror Birds.
Mm-hmm.
You don't particularly notice anything, but just as the sun is rising, your bird seems to notice just something on the edge of its vision.
Is the bird perturbed?
Another vague, and as it sort of like nudges you toward it. I don't know. It doesn't speak, does it?
No, it doesn't speak.
Hmm.
It's an animal companion,
Okay.
but it's not like a familiar or.
Okay. So presumably it brings your attention to what it sees, and
Mhm.
again, I mean it's extremely far out on the water, but you are able to see something crossing that looks similar to what you saw last night from, let's say, in terms of direction. How do I draw a line? There we go. Freehand. You notice something moving across the water this way, like that direction. Pretty
Just
far out
across-
there.
Sorry, kid emergency. Please continue. I'll be back. I don't know how long. Just continue.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
So you notice something like that moving that way.
Okay. Um. Yeah, I guess then what Sagaz will do is try to get a closer look. He'll
It's
hop up.
very far
Okay.
from where you are, but you're welcome to try.
Okay. Well, he'll try to get a closer look. He's gonna hop on Crankor, and they're gonna run out towards it as far as they can, as far as they feel comfortable.
Okay. How fast are you guys?
We have a speed of 40.
40. Okay.
Yeah, 40
Pretty
feet.
fast.
So we'll
Yeah,
say
that's what a mount does.
Yeah.
thinking here.
See, and it might be more of an exploratory thing. Exploration mode, travel speed.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Travel speed might be more applicable here.
Travel speed is. Let's see. You can move, feed them out this and character speed. Typical rates. Okay, so at a determined pace, but one that's not exhausting, then 40 feet is 4 miles an hour,
Okay.
or 32 miles in a day. Um,
I'd say it would probably take you, say, every minute. It's like 100 feet.
400 feet a minute. That's what it says.
It would probably take you 5 minutes
Mhm.
to reasonably intercept this thing, but it would probably be somewhere like, if you can see where I'm pinging, it'd be like somewhere over here rather than out on the water by that time.
Mhm.
Is that something you want to do?
I don't want to like completely intercept it per se, but I want to follow where it's going
Okay.
so I can keep it in sight.
How are you trying to do this? Like, do you care if it notices you?
I'm not particularly stealthy, so I guess I don't care.
Okay. And I'll say, if you get within, well, And you're following it like from the air, or are you on the ground? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm on the ground. Yeah.
You're on the
So
ground.
like, if it goes out into the ocean, I can't follow
Yeah.
it.
No, I mean, at some point it does cross back over, like right here, into the back into the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of get the sense it's heading like off this way.
Oh, interesting. So is that like towards, what was it called? Elf root?
Elf meat, sort of, yes,
Elf meat.
sort of, but not super direct.
Mm-hmm.
And between those two places, there is a little bit of a forested area,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Okay. All right then.
You're getting pretty
Yeah.
far out. This is like,
Yeah.
at this point, you're like almost 10 minutes away from where you started.
Yeah.
And
at
then
that point,
this would be
Zagaz
another,
will-
yeah, like 5-10 minutes to get over there.
Yeah, I guess Zagaz will. He, yeah, he doesn't want people to not know where he's gone
Right.
or what happened to him, so he's gonna turn around and ride back.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this happened like about halfway through, just on the break of dawn.
Okay.
So you're definitely able to get back before anybody really even notices you're gone. So
Yeah. Okay.
that's about it, though.
Alrighty then.
So it is now the next day, and
On the third day.
what time is it? It's 9:50. If you guys want, we could take a break. It's been almost 3 hours, but give Wave some time to come back, or
Yeah, we'll see if he can, and maybe take a quick rest, see what to do next, see how many people want to get consumed.
yeah.
Yeah, see how many people want to get consumed.
So we'll give it until 11 EST, 10 Central, my time.
I kind of miss what Ixel would say about this.
Yeah, I kind of forgot Monty wasn't going to be here. So
I did too.
He'll be he appreciates any attempts at
imitation.
brand expansion and
Brand expansion.
and
Oh, boy.
consolidation. So he would be down for it as long as they could all start doing sales together.
He'd be down for it as long as he was the dominant personality, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But yeah, let's take a small break. Give Wave a chance to resolve whatever he needs to do. And if he's not back by 10, we'll just keep going. Or 10 my time.
Okay.
Anyway.
Meet back at 10.
Cool. See you shortly.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Everybody went out for a quick break.
Yeah.
Okay. What,
Alright.
like when I left, or
No.
No.
What was the last thing that you remember?
the last thing was the things left,
Okay.
and people were that's we were just sort of talking at the time, I think.
Yeah. So nothing really happened on the next watch, but on the final watch, Zagaz's bird Crinkor did notice that another one of the similar figures was sort of moving across the water, very far out, sort of where I have that teal triangle there.
Okay.
And it sort of moved from there over to here and over to there. And he decided not to keep following it as it moved into a more wooded area.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, nothing happened throughout the night, and we decided to take a quick break so that you had time to finish up whatever you needed
Sorry,
to do.
I didn't really I just heard sounds, and then I realized one of them was crying, and I just dropped everything and ran. So
No,
I
that's
didn't
totally cool,
anything,
dude.
so.
No. I figured it out pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's alright, man. It's alright. Unless there's anything, I mean, I guess I could ask, is there anything else your character would have done during the night? Like,
I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
no. I think that's.
I mean, we could definitely play anything like that out, but.
I should have tried to shoot one of them.
You certainly could have. Certainly could have.
Hey, otherworldly entities. This is how we do it on my planet.
Oh boy.
Oh, he didn't hit it.
Seems as though I've got a pretty sparse work day on Tuesday, so I guess that's when I'm doing my prep.
Hey.
He says, knowing fully he will not do the prep on Tuesday.
I would like to try to. I'm gonna try very hard to get it done early this week because I want to be able to go see Doctor Strange without feeling guilty on Saturday night. Not have to rush to get shit done on Sunday. Because I want to say I have a lot of prep to do, but I would like the next few sessions to go smoothly. And then, if that being the case, I have to I've got prep to do. So. Is this what the second? Have you DM more than this is your second time, or have you done for someone else or something else?
It's like the third official session. Or official thing.
Such a good job you're doing. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I wasn't actually worried. It's fine.
I mean, I'm not suggesting you're worried, but I'm telling you you're doing a good job.
Thanks.
I really tried so hard to not make a comment about the music.
It's
Good,
okay.
Why? What do we have to comment on?
It's
fucking Skyrim music, God forbid.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Oh.
Yeah. No. So
He just recognized it and felt like he needed to start.
Well, I keep playing. I mean, the songs I'm using, I always hope people recognize it and make comments on it because it's fun.
No. I know. No, I just just sometimes I think I make a comment a little too much.
No, it's fine. It was fine. It's a good joke.
It was just the mountain thing, right? I'm just like, man, I can't not. Fucking climbing a horse up the side of a mountain.
It's a good joke. I like it.
Is that everyone?
Truly epic.
Yango. We're just waiting on Yango.
Yeah, I'm here.
He's Yarngling and Barngling.
We're here. All right.
Everything good, Wave?
Sorry, I'm
Yeah, everything's well. I mean,
Sorry.
yeah, mostly fine.
Okay.
My wife was out, but now she's home, so if there's anything more, she can handle it. So
Okie doke. So.
Perfect. The game just ended. I absolutely did a Rocket League game in the break.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Good job.
Well, you lose as fast as.
only you can lose as fast as Soonich.
I won. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Kicks ass so hard. Doesn't need the time. All right.
All right.
So it is the dawn of a new day. What would you like to do?
I guess we better
What
report
shall
back to
we do
Cossack.
today?
Well, Zagaz, of course, fills in the party on what he saw and suggests that it was either going to the other town, or maybe there was something going on in maybe they're centered elsewhere.
Is it a place you think we could get to?
I think so. I didn't want to go out that far chasing after it.
Well, maybe we relay the offer or ask Cossack too, and then go see what we can find.
what exactly are we looking for, though?
Yeah, I don't get what we're actually looking for here.
Well, if they listen, we took everything they said on face value, and that's probably a good and honest thing to do. But if they're just, sitting around, or, something we can learn something about them from where they spend their days or something, maybe we can, well, understand the situation a bit better.
Or
I don't
more
know.
likely than not, we're probably gonna be fighting some weird, creepy spirit monsters again.
I mean,
Yeah, you know.
yeah,
Don't sweat the
I'm
details.
I'm also concerned about that.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna have to fight these things or what we're gonna have to do, but I don't know that. I don't know what diplomacy these things think they're, coming at us with, if they assume that a collective is the only option. So we got to be prepared for something, I think.
Yeah, if they think it's the only way to go, then I think, well, we're gonna have
We
to
also
try and
don't
stop them.
exactly. I was going to say we also don't exactly know how they achieve this so-called collective. So I mean, maybe there's some way they do it where it's not harmful, or not a big issue. But yeah, we don't know exactly what they're capable of either. So
So we go back, we talk to them, figure it out, come back out.
So you're going to Cossack?
Yeah,
I heard that said.
let's go talk to Cossack, and I don't know, maybe I don't know. We can check with him and the historian and see. Maybe someone can tell us a little more about these things. We can learn a little bit about them, but I'm not sure that's gonna happen.
Welcome, Monty.
Hello.
hey, Ixel, you made it all the way up here. How'd you find your way?
Oh, by the way, we TPK'd.
Oh, did you?
No.
Depends on what you mean by TPK, though. Depending for the near future,
That's true. That's true.
We may be all subsumed into an interplanar collective if this goes wrong.
Yep.
I mean, for now, I'm just the voice on the wind, the whisperer in the background, waiting my opportunity to appear.
It seems like Ixel's baseline.
That's totally fair.
Anyways, so yeah, we go to Cossack and say, hey, well, we We talked to them.
We seanced with.
Whoop. That was crunchy.
Seance? With what?
With Ronaldo.
With the spirits.
Spirits?
Well, they're a little more complicated than that. I think explaining their exact nature is probably impossible, but they claim to be multi-planar beings seeking to offer inclusion in their order to whomever would like to participate. And we said we'd relay the offer, having declined it ourselves.
Yeah, so they're not just multiplanar beings. It's some kind of many in one in many situation.
They seem to believe that being a we is the best thing to do. And if that sounds concerning to you, yes, but also maybe some folks might be interested in ego oblivion. I don't know.
Hmm.
Sounds like a load of hogwash,
Well,
if you ask me.
That sounds a little hogwashy.
I've heard of ogres that have two heads with separate personalities.
I mean, I do share a hit point pool with my Eidolon, so it's not as if I haven't fucked myself over in this way in particular twice now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, sir.
Yango pointed out to me, he's like, did you just do it again? And
Oh no. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Uh-huh.
But that said, you see Cossack's face notably drop a bit. But the only thing that he says is, well, do you intend to make good on your promise to relay the offer?
Yes.
Right now, didn't we?
Diplomacy is best done in good faith, and we have no reason yet to be suspicious of their intentions. We just don't know what the actual outcomes will be. But if there are those who seek change among your people, then that might be a good place to start.
Though we don't really know much about how it works. and it's still concerning how they think it's the only way. And who knows what they mean by that.
The only way to what? To exist?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
That was the idea we got, yeah.
They didn't explicitly state it, though.
Well, they didn't explicitly state much of anything because they were too busy we, you, I, using.
Yes, it was a little tired.
But you see,
A little?
they implicated it pretty heavily.
Mm.
It's the implication.
What do you believe they implicate there? Aside from
That they probably want to like slaughter and absorb souls or something.
If you don't choose to join them peacefully, that they'll make you do it by force.
Boy, I hope not.
They're extra planar bullies.
So, do you think it's a good idea to tell the rest of the village?
I mean, if you
Sounds like a thing that they'd be interested in. You'd know that better than we would.
I feel like this decision should go to, you seem like an elder leader here. Maybe the historian also has wisdom in this regard. but it does not seem to me to be a decision that we as the party should make.
On the other hand, I'm pretty willing to go try to beat up some spirits again. We're getting good at it.
I don't know if I'd say that much.
Hey,
Can speak for yourself. I haven't beaten any spirits lately.
SoCal is filling in all our adventures to get us to level 2, because it certainly wasn't the initial one in which he is talking about being good at beating up spirits.
hey, I'll have you know, I beat him up a lot. They just beat me up a lot.
That's fair, especially toward the end there. With you getting back at them.
Yeah, right. 50 damage crits, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Oh Jesus! All right, sorry. No, I don't want to go on.
Yeah, if there's as many of them as it seems, I don't know if I have enough magic to help you beat them all up, SoCal.
Suppose that's true, but I gotta be honest, I'm not terrifically enthused with the idea of like letting them absorb.
Well, let's consider the possibilities then. If we don't tell them, the rest of the village that is, what do you believe will happen? That they will just come and kill everyone?
I mean, it's hard to say. They do seem pretty convicted, and we really don't know much else about them. They might be powerful if they're what they claim to be, but also they could be distant and therefore less effective. Certainly, that is a fact of which I am somewhat aware about how distance and planar distance in particular can affect these things. But
Kinds of
On the
things,
other hand,
beings also tend to attract cults, though, on our plane.
I don't know if they have much of an opportunity to be culty. But look, point being,
Not yet.
if you think that there are people here who can handle it or might be interested, then I'd be happy to again do them the good faith effort of trying to find them people with whom they can connect. But if you as their representative think that no one's going to take them up on this because that would be ridiculous, then we can take that back and see what the next step is. You know, Zagaj did say he may have seen them closer to daylight. Maybe we can see where they spend their days.
Personally, I think subjecting anybody to that hogwash is ridiculous, even if they would be receptive to it.
I'm not altogether confident that none of the others would take them up on the offer.
Huh.
It's
Well, would you be interested in telling the people who might be, or looks around at everyone else? Is it just we don't want anybody falling into this?
that is the issue, though.
I don't think
all of
I don't
them.
think letting people get sold on a con is a good idea.
I don't think all of them would be interested. And if it is, as you say, that these things would back up their request with a more forceful approach, would it not be foolish to give them more allies against us, potentially?
Certainly. I think given that we actually know so little, at the very least, you know, before, you know, I love my god Apsu. But if someone went joining my religion without any questions, then I would be concerned for them. And same way, I'd be concerned for them, and I'd be concerned for whoever led them in there, without letting them know what they were getting into. And in the same way, I'm concerned about, or in a similar way, I'm concerned about this, because we know so little about what they they are, what people joining them might do, increase their power or whatever, and and whether or not they'll back up their diplomacy with force. And it feels to me like this is the kind of thing that should take a relationship that should take years to develop rather than 1 or 2 conversations, honestly.
I just think that just because your friend likes the idea of snake oil, you shouldn't go introducing him to snake oil salesmen.
I'm so glad that Ixel's not actually here.
So, what do you want? And with that, no.
What do you say, snake oil?
Anyway, with that said, what would you do? You said you think you might know where they are, or have some vague idea. Is it possible to know more today? Soon? Because I believe you said they would be back today.
Yes, they'd be back this evening, so we definitely would have to return before then. But we could at least go scouting in the direction that I saw that one spirit go, or
Yeah,
one entity, whatever we want to call it.
let's go see if we can't learn more about them.
If this was Star Trek, it'd be an anomaly.
It's
Kinda would.
definitely an anomaly.
So I say we go and see how much distance we can cover and how much we can discover day and before nightfall.
Who is
Do it.
at the back of the party?
Wherever
Um,
so-called is.
Probably me at this point.
Okay. Then
I'm just kind of chatting, right?
you roll perception.
I will roll perception. Ooh.
You can't make me.
Maybe I'll actually roll fucking decently this time.
Oh, I wouldn't start
Say that
counting
before
those
you
chickens.
roll.
Okay. All
Okay,
right. Still
that's
not
not
great
bad.
for
Alright,
me. but it's
17.
not-
That is indeed more than 9. So,
You'd love to see it.
Mhm.
so what I will say is that you hear something behind you as this talk of leaving goes on, and as you turn around, you catch a glimpse of what you are pretty sure is Gare walking away, trying to be quiet.
Damn it.
Okay. Well, it seems if we were going to try to keep this secret, it's probably not going to happen going forward now. Someone's been listening.
Well, then we just got to deal with that someone.
What do you mean deal with?
it.
Who was it?
Deal with it how exactly? I think it was Gare.
Yeah, what do you mean deal with it?
Sorry, just a turn of phrase in my family's line of work.
No, we'll talk to her. Just make sure she doesn't share it with the village while we're gone.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the better way to do that.
Well, no one's really listened to her yet. So, let me talk to her while you go do what you need to do. I believe I can keep it under wraps for now. But
What do we need to do?
I will say, hope no one looks. She doesn't exactly have a poker face, so let's do what we can to find out more about these things. Whatever they are. What their intentions are. And I will do my best to make sure that news doesn't spread too quickly. And with that said, I will be off. And Cossack makes for Gare's workshop. So, would you all wish to?
We're on our way out to try to track some spooky ghosts.
That's the plan?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you leave, I will say that two of the gnomes that you didn't really meet before too well. Let me get the names that I wrote down. A couple of the ice fishers, Tarot and Drord, come up with a peculiar but not unfamiliar goblin between them.
Oh God. Speaking of snake oil salesman,
Is this one of yours?
guess you could say that.
Hey guys!
Ah, that's the
What's
spot.
up, Ixtal?
Well,
How
you
did
have
you
no
get
idea how hard it is to sell anything to these guys.
Yeah, because they don't buy and sell in gold. Didn't you hear from our friend that they trade in seashells? Or whatever is fish scales. Sorry, not seashells, fish scales.
Oh, fish oil. That's what I should have been doing. Okay, makes sense now. Okay, I've got an angle now.
Angle.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh man,
Oh
that was
boy.
bad.
So presumably you guys can sort of fill in Monty
Yeah.
to some degree on what's happened.
Yes. So, other
Does
than
Ixtal
what
actually have any
you've,
interest in any of that is the question.
Yeah.
I mean, other than what you've heard, they were
I
worried
didn't hear a
because.
thing.
Oh.
Really?
No, I've been too busy on something.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Rip.
Quote
The,
unquote something.
this village of
yes.
this village of gnomes in definitely not Icewind Dale is
Shut up.
this village of gnomes in the mountain is concerned about these glowing figures that appear to be approaching them across the ice. It also seems to be the place that Tyr, Yem's character, came from. They did not want to attend, and the people who know of them do not seem inclined to speak about them whatsoever. That will be for another day. Meanwhile, we wait until evening to meet these light creatures, and as they turned from indistinct light shapes into slightly defined humanoids, they seemed to suggest that they were part of an extraplanar, multiplanar collective that wanted to bring in mortal people from the material plane. We said we'd relate that request, and that most people would probably not be interested, given that we like our individual identities. But they were like, well, it's probably the best way for this to go, and left it at that fun, ambiguous note. Fivo's character also saw one of them sort of venturing towards a location we did not know them to approach as dawn broke. And then we spent the last several minutes arguing the ethical, strategic, and moral implications of allowing people to induct themselves into an extraplanar entity ? And then you showed up. And
Somehow I
that's
feel like socialism isn't Ixtal's thing.
that's maybe a little. What's
It's quite a bit past socialism. It's very far past
Oh, I
socialism.
know. I'm just saying
Again,
it doesn't seem like it's Ixtal's thing.
human instrumentality, maybe not. Maybe not the vibe. You can't sell to anyone if you're all one.
So yeah, and now the party wants to go investigate where they think these creatures might be. Beings, creatures.
Wants to is a strong term.
Is going to attempt to.
Obligated to.
Is going to attempt to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We want to help. Come on, Gin. Let's go.
So that is the current plan.
Yeah.
That said, if you guys leave through the same area and sort of follow along this like almost marshland type terrain that over here, where Sagaz points out, eventually you get to, I'd say, probably takes, for a party, it probably takes the better part of an hour to get to a more wooded area, more thickly wooded area. And it's at this point that you don't really have great ideas about how to track these things. But, yeah. You do get you do get the sense that if you would have seen something before now, it would have been fairly obvious, because until this point, there hasn't been very much to block your vision or anything like that.
Well, if this is where Zagah saw them, maybe we just try to follow in the same direction and see if any other odd things happen.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah?
Yeah?
What, Ixel?
Who are these two guys?
Forget them already. We've been adventuring with them for weeks.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It was something we...
Like them anything. I'd remember if I had.
Canonically, that was the choice we made, but I guess you weren't here to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, fine. Be that way.
Well,
See, if I sell you the stuff again, of course I'll sell you that stuff again. Just trying to get scarcity. Anyway, okay, fine. I mean, why don't we just go that way? And Ixel's gonna point in a random direction.
Okay, roll a d8. Yeah, d8.
Yeah.
7.
It'd be really funny if he points in the direction we were gonna go anyway.
Guys, where did you see them moving towards?
In full... Okay.
Yams is also rolling a d8.
I am also rolling a d8. Okay. Alright. You may continue.
Really?
Zagaz, I mean, to look to Ixel, this is Zagaz. He and the Terror Bird do tracking and other things.
Terrorbird is named Crankor.
Crankor, sorry, Crankor.
Call him Cranky.
No,
Actually-
I call him Crankor.
But can we call him Cranky?
I've got salves for both those things.
No, he's very sweet, and he pets. And Crankor leans down and he pets him on the head, and you hear some low rumbling.
That sounds like indigestion.
Oh, I missed this.
So?
So guys, you want to maybe try and get a more informed direction for us to go?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, I don't know if this is something I should roll for, or if I should just say, well, continue in the direction that I saw them going in, or...
I mean, you say it, and then he decides if you have to roll.
Okay.
Well,
Usually.
I'll say this. Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll if you want to keep going the way you're going. I won't make you roll another die if you wish to randomly follow where Ixel pointed. But if you wish to... If you do want to...
Actually go the correct direction.
Well, no. If you do want to, like, actually attempt to discern if there is a correct path to go on, other than, well, no, I mean, if you want to make a more informed decision, yeah, then yes.
Okay.
I would,
All right.
Nice.
we would,
Well, I certainly would like to make a more informed decision.
okay. So, I guess the question is, how do you guys wish to do that? Is it like looking for tracks, or are you looking for marks left on trees? Are we looking for?
I mean, did these things like okay, like so obviously before when I was looking for stuff, I was looking for tracks and stuff. You said I didn't find any.
Right.
Presumably, from the spot where it was standing,
Mhm.
I would be able to see if it left something. Yes.
It did not.
Okay. Well, so then we know that they probably don't leave too much.
Nothing. There's not a lot of physical evidence.
Right.
My
How
thought was going to be like we look for the darkest parts to see if it's like it is about light, if like they have to shade themselves like to be in trees to be around. But
Yeah, we could try that.
that's my
Oh,
best guess.
okay. I like that.
And any, as I say, and anyone else is more than welcome to suggest something else that they noticed. But
Well, Wave has that ability for noticing odd things, and maybe he
true.
can notice that like birds aren't singing or something like that.
I'll say if you want to look for a particularly dark area within the forest, I would let you roll survival for that.
Well, say if this isn't just something that occurs to Zagaz, then Vekri mentions it, and it's like maybe you could guide us to those. I'm assuming Zagaz has survival, but
Yeah, Sagaz.
Sagaz does not.
Oh,
oh, okay. Does anyone
I mean,
know how to get us through the woods?
this is what nature or is it
survival.
It's
I
survival,
I
apparently.
can do it. I've proficiency in survival.
Okay.
You may roll survival.
Thank you. Let's see how this goes.
14.
God, I've not rolled above a 10. Actually, that's right. I rolled one roll above a 10 tonight.
I mean, I'll say the 14. It's not that hard to find. You know, a reasonably dark, reasonably dense part of trees. That's not that difficult.
Sure.
It's really not.
No, he needed to crit to find trees in a forest.
Yeah, I mean, and because I mean, it doesn't take a lot of acumen to like, oh, it's darker here than it was over there. So, what I'll say is, yeah, you're more than capable of finding what you believe to be a darker area, and what you're seeing is like, as the trees get thicker and thicker, you sort of, I don't know, there's definitely like, for people trained in Arcana especially, definitely sense something strange in the air, you know, like in the magic around you, you know. It's obvious. You don't even have to look for it. It's definitely something strange going on there. And you get to this particularly high canopy of trees that is otherwise like relatively like clear at ground level, and once you arrive there, it's almost like there's a path through the trees, and as you start following that path, still very like overcast, like very strangely overgrown over you, but dark, but you're able to like make your way through the trees, and you come to this almost pseudo clearing, and across this clearing there is a very strange, off-colored purple rock at the end of this clearing. And you're sort of like, you're at one end of it, up against like the back tree line, and it's maybe, I would say, 100 feet or so from you, at the opposite end of the clearing. And you see, not only is it oddly colored, but there's a faint glow behind it.
Ooh la la.
What would you like to do?
Can I I don't know, like if we see it already, I guess it doesn't make sense to invest. Like, I don't know, does it make sense to investigate further in a case like this where we already see it?
I mean, I think so. I mean, we get the
Okay,
idea
because
of
then
like
I can
what it
use.
might be, or
Okay, because then I can get a +1 on it
Okay.
from.
What are you trying to do in this investigation?
I mean, I guess that's the question. Like, what are we trying to do with this?
well, I
Probably
mean,
trying to see if you can identify it or figure out, like, is this like a link? This is obviously like some kind of link to the astral plane. Can we figure out more? Do we know? Can we
Yeah,
figure out
alright,
how
I
it
mean, yeah,
works?
I guess it would just be just like, yeah, try to
How-
figure out how this thing is like if this thing is in any way related to the things we saw, I suppose.
yeah, how is it like, or whatchamacallit, how magic is this magic rock?
Yeah.
Actually, I probably do look to Gin and just like, could you maybe see if it has the kind of magic that they have, or if it has any kind of magic?
Not sure what you're asking me to do.
Detect magic or read aura, smartass.
I cast detect magic.
Okay, you cast Detect Magic. What's the radius on that? Because you're about 100 feet away right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Well,
Yeah, it's
okay, if you cast Detect Magic, you definitely still get the sense that there's, like, not only do you know that there's something magical, like, somewhat in the vicinity, but it's definitely weird. Like,
Mhm.
Well,
I would
time
allow
to
you.
approach.
Yeah, I mean, you could roll Arcana if you want on that, actually.
See how we do with that.
Hell yes.
Yes, you definitely get the sense that it's weird in the sense that it's not, like, common to the material plane. It's
Huh.
magic aura that you feel.
Well, don't think those things were bluffing.
At least not about all of it.
Mhm.
Let's get closer and see what we can find out.
Mhm.
I don't suppose
It's
the
not to say we
glow.
did.
I don't suppose the glow is reminiscent of these, like, the creature's glow. Is it? Is it like, I mean,
To some
these are
degree,
white,
yes.
this is purple. Sure.
Yeah,
It's
but I
like
mean,
purple,
they
like
are.
purple boundary at the edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I get within 30 feet of the rock.
Okay. Does everyone follow, or just him?
Zagaz is
Shit, her.
following while
I would follow for sure.
Zagaz is following while riding.
Okay. So everybody's backing Vekri up.
Mhm.
All
And
right.
in fact, I think I might as well also just manifest my Eidolon at this point also. So
Okay.
I've got Dragon Bro backing me up.
And you guys aren't really trying to be quiet, are you?
No, I mean, like, I think that Vekri's doing kind of a like almost cartoonish sneak. Like, she's very, like, moving 1 foot forward kind of slowly and have her arms out to, like, and like almost her claws out as if to, like, say, don't get angry at us, Mr. Rock, but like it's not stealthy at all.
Okay. Well, the rock doesn't move.
Gin will probably try to be stealthy, but
The
no one
rock
else.
doesn't move. And actually, as you approach within 30 feet, you don't. Nothing really happens. Nothing changes.
Okay. Well, I guess we just gotta get a bit closer.
Who wants to lick it?
Eat us.
I allow this to occur.
Do you actually go lick it?
I mean, Ixel said he does, and it was pointing. I don't know. Pick somebody at random.
Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought he said me does. I was like, oh.
What are the odds that Ixel's pointing at himself?
I mean, that's a good question. For me, I roll the d8, and if it's a 1, he is pointing at himself.
Okay.
Okay, it's not pointing. Okay.
All right.
Well, now that we're near the rock, I guess now is the time to actually cast Read Aura.
All right. So what exactly does Read Aura give you?
I have to actually look. Let's see. Perceive magical. What do you know? What if it's magical in the school of magic?
I'd say the rock itself isn't magical, if that's what you're trying to read aura from.
Yeah, that's what I'm targeting, probably.
Yeah. The rock isn't itself magical.
Alright.
It is not what is glowing. Just in case I didn't make that clear. Sorry.
Oh, no, I thought the rock was glowing.
No, there's a glow behind the rock.
Oh.
The glow is behind the rock.
Oh, I guess we ought to go take a look then.
Glow's behind the rock.
It was more clear we scoot behind the rock.
Okay. So as you make your way around the rock, which, it's relatively large, maybe like 30 feet, give or take, you eventually come to see three very familiar, or not very, but at least somewhat familiar shapes, as these pulsing lights almost immediately materialize into humanoids, just like the one you saw last night. All three of them.
Oh.
As you come around.
Okay. Whew.
Have you come to join us?
Oh, no. I suspect you won't get many takers here on that.
We have questions.
Also that, yeah.
Did you relay our message?
Brochure.
Did you relay our message?
Yeah.
We did, and your message brought up a lot of questions.
To all?
You were quite vague on many points.
You told all of them?
We
Told the
relayed.
representative of them.
Well, we talked to the leaders first.
So you did not relay our message to all of them.
Well, we wanted to get a few more specifics before we continue doing it as their leader suggested.
And it's not our.
I'm gonna make you roll diplomacy on that one.
Happy to.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. What do you wish to know?
What happens when you join?
You become we.
So, light like you?
We are not light.
So, the form you're taking?
Or like astral jizz or something.
Oh, dude.
You say that out loud?
I do not.
Okay.
Do these extraplanar beings know what that term means in common?
To use guys like drinking elixirs. We have no need.
Oh, the worst kind of customer.
Excel's like, killed him.
But
He makes a good point. Do you have wants other than wanting people to join?
don't pick the licorice flavor.
Palatable.
I'm just memeing here. Somebody can stop me at any time.
No, we're just gonna let Ixel take on all future diplomacy.
We are not going to do that.
I mean, that's a bad idea because he doesn't have. Oh no, he's trained in it. He is in fact trained in diplomacy. What am I doing? Wow.
Well, yeah, it would have to be, right?
That doesn't stop us from letting Paramux do all the talking.
It's true. Unless it keeps shutting the fuck up, that's the problem.
Anyways, so Zaga says, well, so when a person joins, they become part of. They become one with all of you. But what happens to their body? And then what happens to the rest of us when you have when you've gotten all the people, on this plane or in this town that want to join, and everyone else doesn't want to?
What happens to body? Corporeal form ceases to exist.
And so then does that person
previous corporeal form,
the previous is there like another form that you get that would be more part of our world than whatever form you guys are in right now?
We are part of this plane right now.
Yeah, but you're all weird and stuff.
Well, okay. I mean, things exist differently. That is fine.
As for
they're kind of weird.
As for those who would not wish to become we must again state we know that to become we is the only way to avoid conflict.
To avoid, you mean conflict? I see. So the thing that you're afraid of is conflict.
Not afraid. Wish to end.
Have you ever got into conflict before with those who didn't agree to your terms?
And you got him.
We do not view resistance as the end of the negotiation.
Well, color be curious.
What do you mean by resistance? We need some. I know that you guys live on a different plane and all, but we need something concrete here.
You
something to go with.
currently are resisting.
Yes, and so in that case, what would end the negotiations?
We may have to take.
Ah, that's going to be a bit of a problem.
So you're gonna cause conflict to end conflict.
The end and the means need not be the same.
You sound like my dad.
You didn't answer my question from before. So what happened the last time people didn't agree to you? What'd you do about it?
We can be very convincing.
Not
Now
good
you
enough.
really sound like my dad.
Not good enough. Not good enough. Sorry. You know what? You want us to agree to all these very specific terms. We really got to know what we're getting into here. Don't be vague. Out with it.
I mean, becoming we is like way more intimate than getting married, and I certainly would want to know more from someone I was getting married to.
I
Man's
don't
got a
know if
good
these
point.
things understand the concept of marriage if they're all we's.
Listen, becoming we is a pretty important procedure. So, like we got to know all the info, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
So tell
But
us.
that is part of the issue then, right? You cannot know what it is to be we until you become we. And
That's still not what I'm asking you.
we cannot, we have not met a being that has become we, that did not find itself fulfilled here.
You're still avoiding the question.
Like
We're
I said,
multiplanar beings. You're having a real hard time telling the truth.
this is all truth.
It's also avoiding the question.
We're asking you one simple question. What happened the last time people didn't agree to become we? What happened?
We showed them what it was to become we.
No.
No,
What?
that's the answer.
No, it's not the answer.
Definitely the
What
answer.
did you do? What did you do physically?
They
Physically.
kind of gave us the
Physically,
answer.
You're saying you showed them what it was to become we. Okay. How did you show them?
Did you?
You cannot know we without becoming we.
No, how
Therefore, to
did you show
know
them? I'm not asking I'm not asking what it's like to become we. I'm asking how did you show them?
I do not understand what you do not understand.
You said
I
you
think what
showed them how to become we. How? How did you show them that? There's some fundamental misunderstandings going on here, and I don't think anybody's going to become we until those misunderstandings are cleared up, my friends.
If you
uh,
The
truly
onus is
wish,
on you.
if you truly wish to stand in our way, do
I'm
not
just
wish.
asking for answers, man.
It seems you do not wish to help us relay our request. In truth,
Well, we already did.
True, we did.
to all of them, you said no.
Not yet, no.
I mean, that's just a
we
fundamental way. We just work on a different way. We tell the
we
one
told
who
the
tells
leaders and they
everyone
can
else.
do with it. Yeah. I mean, I guess they're I guess for a group of wees, I guess they don't understand what a leader is.
Do they all know?
They will.
We don't
By now,
know. The
by
leaders
now,
might have told them
probably.
by now. It's up to the leaders.
We're not a we with them, so we wouldn't know. The word "we" has probably been said a few too many times this session.
Yes.
It means yes. Yeah.
Hey, man, you guys are causing us all sorts of semantic satiation here. I don't know.
Can I roll for patience? Is there
out
a
of
patience roll?
out of character, I really want to cast light right now, just to make him go away.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
Then roll low enough for that.
The problem that I'm having is at some point they're going to take Geraldo asking how to, as a please make an object.
I'm honestly just waiting for something to happen. Jesus.
well, I mean, I think what they meant is that when they said they showed them was that they just sort of forcibly did it.
Right.
Whatever the heck it is.
Wave
Them
obviously
to say
understands that he's trying to get them to
point.
say it.
I want them to say it.
Mm.
Gonna.
And they're avoiding it.
Maybe there's a fucking reason, Wave.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what are you being thick about?
I'm not being thick about it, but I'm not going to go attacking these things right off the bat.
All right, how about this?
Actually,
As a way to move the action forward.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Roll initiative.
No. They'll say,
That is a good.
if you wish to know, we can show you.
Mm-hmm.
And you will be able to tell all of them. Perhaps that is the best way forward.
Could you show us on something? I have a question. Could you show us on something that isn't, how to phrase this, humanoid?
Like,
Sentient?
You mean sentient?
Well, I don't
if
know.
you
what
say
the
humanoid, if you say humanoid,
definition of sentient is, we start getting into animals and things. Basically, humanoid. Can you do this on an animal?
well, I mean, they look toward the bird.
Wait, not on my bird.
No, we'll find you something else.
They
Do it on-
they look toward the Eidolon.
No. Well, something that's not traveling with us currently. If I find you something else to show us what it's like, can you do it?
Could it tell you?
Yes, it would.
I am not so sure.
Can any of us cats speak with animals?
Nope.
My idea is I just want to see what happens. Whatever it does would be enough to give us the information we need.
I mean, we know it's going to eliminate the corporeal form as it exists.
Yeah, but I also want to learn how it does that.
Oh, sure.
Geraldo's an inquisitive mind.
Geraldo is all
mean-
about finding out that, like, if you consider that he like modeled after a Witcher, I want to figure out what these things are, how they work, what they do, how they function.
Right.
This is what I'm all about.
And their argument is like, we want to do it to something that'll make sense to do it to. And we're like, we don't want to be those things.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Um,
but that's what I'm trying to say. So if they won't do it to if they're not going to do it to an animal or anything of some sort, I mean, none of us are going to fucking volunteer. So
Perhaps we have misjudged you. We thought you wished to help, but you present only resistance.
we did wish to help, but it's a hard. Perhaps we were a bit ambitious about the time frame, because this is a very challenging request, and well, you're asking a lot, and the biggest problem is it doesn't seem like we can refuse, and that isn't going to work.
That's a violation. That's a violation of our will. Our many wills.
If it were just that you could tell us and explain it, and we could relate it back to them, that'd be one thing. Maybe you would get more takers. But if we can't explain it and it's not clear that we can say no, then, well, perhaps we're going to have to find that peace another way.
Perhaps is as we say. There is
Yeah, so
no
I think
and
Nope.
there is no. The only end to individuality is conflict.
you might be right, but you know what? Unfortunately, that's not your choice. So I think we'll be on our way now, and you can be on yours. Go find some other planes to unindividualize, huh?
That might be best
Mm,
for you to find others more interested in your offer.
And if you say that, well, actually, I'll say this. It is almost 4 hours in, which is definitely my
Yeah.
fault.
I mean, this is just what it is, you know? No
Yeah,
worries.
100% my fault because of the nature of the thing that I wrote. So, let's just say we're about to roll initiative right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Makes
we could.
sense.
I don't know. You guys probably don't want to do that tonight.
No.
Yeah,
nah, we can wait.
We'll start
Next
the next
session
one.
with combat.
Mhm.
I'll say the next thing is rolling initiative at this point. So
Yep.
Fair.
No,
Very
that's fair. That's fair.
lots of talky. Sorry.
Oh no,
it's okay.
it's an interesting
What?
it's an interesting dilemma, but also
It was
I've got
interesting.
so many things to say, but I won't say them.
No, say whatever you want to say.
No, it's fine.
Why? Could go.
Say it.
No, I'm
run
just
into
saying, this
fantasy
is like
board.
you seem surprised somehow by this.
No, I'm not at all surprised. I kind of figured that it would take more than one session.
You said that before. You said you knew it was going to take more than one session, but like you seemed surprised that we were going to talk a whole lot. That's like what we do.
I'm not that surprised. I definitely built this as an avenue for us to be able to talk quite a bit.
yes, individuality. It's impossible.
It's a bit.
Gonna keep making the same choice despite it.
See,
Too
this
bad.
this thing just absolutely fascinates me. Like, Yams, like, do you have these avenues in your mind of all of these things that we could be doing here that we're not doing? That's my question for you right now.
I don't know. This actual thing came up today. I thought about this today. I'll say that. What you're doing right now, I thought about the possibility of it before the session today. But I have thought about a lot of different approaches you could take. Sure. There's more meat other places, yes. Of things that I've written.
There's like Touchy the Purple Rock. There's actually Talk to the Historian. There's follow up more specifically with Gare.
The session is done. I'm gonna jet. My wife's not feeling well. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go.
I understand.
Oh, she feels better.
Yeah. There were a couple things we definitely didn't look too directly. So
I should have cast light.
I wanted you to cast light. I really did.
Look, you could do that at the start of the very next session.
I could. I sure could.
I don't have any magics, unfortunately.
You could do that.
But I'm also going to jet too because I actually got work tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, if you need
Wait,
to go, you
so
can go.
hold on. So what are we doing next week?
Well, Yango's not gonna be here next week, right?
Right. Yes. So do we want to do this again and hold off another week, or
You guys choose. I don't care. I have the rest of it written, so it doesn't matter.
do you
I'm
think
happy.
it's? Go, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm happy to do this again. I'd like to. It'd be nice to wrap up the story, if possible.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, I would say I'm down either way. We've come to agreement about having one person out shouldn't mean us stopping, but also hey,
Playing the same character either way.
This one has a charisma score, so it's fine.
Yeah. It's nice when the person who talks the most has a charisma score.
I should just. I'm just like, you know what's fun? Playing against type. I love playing against type. What does he do? Plays the fucking same way every time.
Pretty much.
That's okay though. This has been I don't know. I don't know what you guys thought. I was having fun.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a.
I mean, clearly, because I wrote this whole thing, so I hope I enjoy it. But
In the
Yeah, I
other,
was like, but hopefully you wrote something that you would enjoy running.
Well, like, so again,
Like,
do
damn,
you
I wrote all this and I hate it.
from your perspective?